Welcome back. Welcome back, New York Giants fans. It is another edition of Giants Conversations. Me, your boy, Unpopular Opinion Sports, with my road dog, my bro, Big Pat Sports Talk, ready to give you guys all the Giants news and notes. Going to get into some draft scenarios. Rumors are heating up as we get closer to the draft. Want to get into a little bit of NFC East news, man. Want to tie in another little segment here with the NFC East, and I got some Giants trivia. Got some Giants trivia for the guests that call in. If you guys want to call in and play a little Giants game with us, we're gonna do that here. All that and much more right after the intro. Y'all hit that like button. Let's get it.
Welcome to Giants CONVO.
All right. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Like I said, hit that like button. Share this out on your social media platforms. Let's talk, man. So, the New York Giants, as we get closer to the draft, y'all all know the news about Russell Wilson being signed and all that good stuff. So, two quarterbacks now in the building with Russ and Jameis Winston. But a lot of us are asking, what about the future? What about the future? So, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the future, plans for the New York Giants. Also, what the future of the NFC East is going to look like, because that is going to directly affect what the Giants do in the draft. So, all the talk now is, who do they pick at 3? And, people are waffling about whether to take Shedeur Sanders, whether to take Travis Hunter, whether to take Abdul Carter, even some people throwing Mason Graham in there. But what is the best thing for the Giants? What is the best thing for this franchise? Take all your emotion out of it. Take all your bias out of it. What is the best thing for this franchise? What is the thing that we have to improve on the most? And that's what we need to talk about. Like, let's hash it out. That's why I love doing Giants conversation. Brush all the nonsense to the side for a minute. What do the Giants need at 3? What is going to have the most impact, not just for this year, but for the future? Pat, I'm going to turn it over to you, bro. What do you think is going to help the Giants gain ground in the NFC East as far as what they do at 3?
The best thing they can do is draft for the future with Shedeur Sanders at 3, because it allows you to, keep pace with your counterparts are doing in the NFC East with very young quarterbacks, aboriginal quarterbacks, with Jalen Hurts. Dak is not so young; he's in his 30s now, but with Dak and Jaden Daniels is the truth. We're gonna have to deal with this dude for over a decade, as long as he doesn't get hurt. So Shedeur Sanders brings that pedigree, and I think he allows us to compete with those other quarterbacks moving forward, as far as just having a quarterback that this team could get behind. That makes the most sense to me. But if Shedeur Sanders is not there, then it just depends on what you want to do. If you're thinking Travis Hunter as a cornerback, you don't take Travis Hunter. You take Abdul Carter, because he allows you to be so multifaceted on defense. Even though we got Thibodeau and Burns, you could play him out there with Thibodeau and Burns. Now, I will be intrigued if they say Travis Hunter is a receiver moving forward, because if you could put him out there with Malik Neighbors, you can create some problems out there for people. Him, Malik Neighbors, Slayton, Wandale Robinson can now go to the road that he's supposed to be. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at either one of the picks if they consider Hunter a full-time receiver, part-time DB. Now, if he's a full-time DB, part-time receiver, no, because we don't know what to do with DBs. But Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or Shedeur Sanders should be like the only three that you should be considering at the number 3 spot. And only those other two if Shedeur Sanders is not there. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, bro. You see the screen. NFC East. I told y'all we're going to talk some NFC East today as well. You got 4 bros up there. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you want to say about that, Russell Wilson, you know, being their personalities being on the lighter side, they still colored, so I don't care. Now that's one thing, but remember, this division is about vibes, and you seeing the vibes over there with them other 3 teams. They got dogs over there in the NFC East. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This ain't the AFC East or the AFC West or nothing like that. This division is tough. And the one thing this division has that people have problems dealing with is defensive line play. All of these teams, even the Giants, all of these teams get rough in the trenches with the D-line and the D-line play. So, that being said, that's why Abdul Carter would be my only other consideration outside of the quarterback. I'm showing you why the quarterback is the most important right now. Russell Wilson is not going to be here very long. If you put yourself in a position where you are picking later in the draft next year because you don't want to get a couple of games this year because you want to pick Travis Hunter and try to be competitive, which is fine. You win 9-8 games, cool. Bring back Russell Wilson again, because that's what y'all going to do. You're not going to take quarterback next year. Go out there, say they don't do as well because people didn't figure you out, or Russ regresses like tremendously. What are you going to do at that position, at that point? You can't keep pushing it down the road. You can't keep pushing this thing down the road. You got to get somebody in there now. Now, if you think Jackson Dart can be your future quarterback, go ahead. You can sell some on some. You can't sell everybody on that. You ain't selling me on it. And when we're talking about vibes, where does Jackson Dart fit into this picture? These boys are going to make it a point to bust the Giants' ass just because. That's how football players think. Sports players think. Oh, y'all want to beat y'all? All right. We're going to give you this work. So you keep on playing around. You keep on playing, and his fan base think it's funny, and they think it's cute, and they think they're selling themselves on something that you haven't sold yourself on in the past, which is making a position player the focal point of your franchise. It ain't been working with Barkley and Beckhams and all these other players. You got to get that quarterback in there. So, vibes, man. Vibes, bro. Outside of Carter, because I know what a D-line can do. A D-line can, yeah, we've seen it. Now you're talking about going back to the old Giants. I can get down with that. But another DB and trying to get these receivers in here, when you iffy on your quarterback play, remember, they went after Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. Russell Wilson and these guys are 3rd, 4th B options now. You're talking about free agency. So, again, what is going to be the biggest impact for this team. Not just for now, but for the future. We could say, oh, that's Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors. They look awesome together. But you don't. That's overkill. You just took a receiver last year in the first round. Why would you do it again? And you still haven't addressed the position y'all been bitching about for the last 5 to 6 years, which is the quarterback. Oh, I'm going to drill it. Yeah, I'm going to keep drilling that point. Because me and this brother right here got a lot of heat for that. Now y'all flipping. Ain't no flip-flopping over here. I'm going to keep it a buck. Go get Shedeur Sanders. What are you waffling for? Oh, now they saying he's not a top quarterback, yada, 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 yada. But Jackson Dart is. Now y'all want Jalen Milroe. You see how weird this fan base is? You don't want the brother that produced in college and did his thing in college and actually made plays and won games and has the potential ready now. You want to take a project, as if Brian Daboll has proven he can take a project quarterback anywhere. Josh Allen, like we say, is an alien. He couldn't make things work with Cleveland and some of these other places he's been with project quarterbacks. Who do you think Brian Daboll is? You think he's going to turn soup into steak? Use your brains. Go ahead.
I will say this. If you knew what you were doing, if you were ready to build an offense around Jalen Milroe, that wouldn't be a bad thing. You could take Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter at 3 and build a situation around Jalen Milroe, which is conducive to his skill set. Because I do believe Jalen Milroe can be an absolute force if you put him in a system that allows him to be him. But if you're trying to run a system where you want him to pass the ball around like a Josh Allen or anything like that, it's not going to work. But if you put him in a system like how the Eagles put Jalen Hurts in the system over there with Philadelphia, that ain't bad, because he could do everything Jalen Hurts does. He could throw the deep ball. He could throw a quick slant. He could throw a drag. And he's a way more dynamic runner than Jalen Hurts could ever be. So if you're trying to build a system like that and you got Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors, I don't know what Tyrone Tracy at running back. You know, you have to get a road-graded offensive line. We don't have the offensive line to support that, so that kind of takes that away, because Van Rotten and John Runyon at guard is not the type of guards that you need to run the system that, per se, the Ravens or the Eagles run. So it's I think if this franchise was more forward thinking, you could do something like that. But we're not forward thinking. You're going to have to get the cerebral quarterback to go out there that can pass the ball around the yard, because that's the system Brian Daboll wants to run. Now, if we had somebody like Mike Tomlin as coach, I guarantee you that's what they would do. You know what I'm saying? So Jalen Milroe is not a polished passer, but you can build a system around that kid to where it can be absolutely lethal if your defense is actually balling out there. If your defense is getting people off the field and you're able to run that ball with Milroe and Tyrone Tracy and get that ball out there to Malik Neighbors and Hunter and Wan'Dale Robinson, because they actually fit his skill set, because you just want him to get the ball in those guys' hands and make some things happen off the RPO or off the play action and rollouts of things. And he's so athletic that if a play breaks down, if he takes off, that broke down play could turn into 30, 40 yards with a Jalen Milroe. So that's a plan, but I just don't see in this organization that people are forward thinkers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy, because I do believe Shedeur Sanders, if you put him in that screen, will probably be the second best quarterback in the division within the next 3 years. I think the first one will be Jaden Daniels. He's just that good. But he will be the second best quarterback on that screen there. And we'll see what the Giants do, man. But this scenario of Shedeur Sanders falling out the first round, that shit is stupid, man. That kid's going high, man. Wherever he's not going past the Raiders. That's a fact. But I don't know what you think about it. What's going on, Coach?
Coach, what's good? We're gonna open up the call lines here soon for you guys. I gotta hash this out, bro, because y'all know me. I got to prove to y'all what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Travis Hunter should not be an option here. Let's go back to the past and let's talk about the drafts previously from the New York Giants. I want to start at 2012 because 2011 was the last time they won a Super Bowl. So moving forward, they've been pretty much a shit show. All right. So 2012, now we looking at Jaron Hose. I'm looking at DBs and wide receivers because that's what Travis Hunter's supposed to be, right? A DB / wide receiver. And I'm especially looking at the DBs because according to Art Stapleton, I'm just going to put the writer's name out there so y'all can go look it up yourself. The Giants see him as a DB. All right? This is reported by Art Stapleton. I can go look it up here in a minute, but we on a time schedule. So let's get this done. Jaron Hosley. Anybody feel good about Jaron Hosley when they drafted him in 2012?
He used to get cooked in the slot.
Smoke, barbecue, fucking chicken. Cooper Taylor. I don't know who the fuck that is. Excuse my lingo, but it's Giants conversation. We're going to talk a little bit. Who the hell is he? Garbage. All right. Bennett Jackson. Bennett Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
See the field.
Nate Barry, I do remember him.
Nate Barry, he was a special teams guy.
Special teamer, yeah.
And
you can see the games played over here. 42 games played in his career. This dude played 16 games. Jaron Hosley played 43 games. They also took Ruben Randall that year. Butt cheeks. Again, now we all know Beckham was a hit. Cool. But you already got a hit Malik Neighbors. That's why I'm not going back to the wide receiver. We're talking about the DBs now. All right. Next year, they took Landon Collins. That was a safety. We talking about cornerback. Jeremy Davis, wide receiver, they took in the 6th round. Nothing made of him. All right. Eli Apple. Do y'all really want to talk about Eli Apple? and how we feel about Eli Apple? Sterling Shepard was solid, but he was hurt a lot. All right. No DBs that draft. 2018, no DBs that draft. Okay, y'all doing all right. Then they went crazy with DBs. DeAndre Baker. We all know what happened there. Julian Love. They let him walk. All right. Corey Ballantyne. Ass. Okay.
He's actually still in the league, too.
Well, yeah, he is in the league playing for Green Bay. But he ain't do nothing with the Giants, so he don't count. You know what I'm saying? So he don't count. All right. Go to the next draft. Darnay Holmes.
Trash.
Chris Williamson. Who was that?
Trash.
Go to the next draft. Rodarius Williams.
Trash.
Aaron Robinson.
Trash.
Go to the next draft. They keep trying, though. I give them that. Dane Belton. They drafted over him. So, and he's a safety. Converted to a safety because he can't play corner. All right. Javarius Owens.
Gone.
You know what I mean? I forgot to mention Flott. Flott's in there. I guess people feel iffy about him. Owens out of there. Trey Hawkins washed. Then you have Banks. Deontay Banks still a question mark. Tyler Newman and Andrew Phillips, you feel good about, but we need to see more. Folks, Have I proven to you that Travis Hunter is not going to be a good pick for the Giants if they draft him to be a corner? They haven't drafted, but who would you say was okay out of that whole group I named, bro?
You got Andrew Phillips. You got Tyler Newman.
I mean, recently. Let's go back, though. Let me scroll back down. Like, bro.
Yeah, it's not. It's probably only two as far as cornerback.
You see what I'm saying? This is not what they should be doing here, brothers and sisters. This is not what they should be doing here, man. Taking Travis Hunter at three, that's rich. They're talking about taking Shador at 3 is rich. So take a DB at 3 and start him right away. That's a smart move. You see what happened to Eli Apple? First round corner.
Trash.
See what I'm saying? First round corners. Prince Amukamara.
We won a Super Bowl with him, but he wasn't too good after that.
Chad Jones.
Trash.
He got in a car accident or something, didn't he? You know what I'm saying? I give him the wide receivers. They do okay with the receivers, but DBs, DeAndre Wright, man, come on, bro. Kenny Phillips was nice, but they converted him to safety. Terrell Thomas was,
He was nice. He just kept getting hurt.
I mean, Aaron Ross, same thing.
Won a Super Bowl with him. He wasn't the greatest, but we won a Super Bowl with him.
He was all right. You know what I mean? So, like, get an all right corner, Corey Webster. He was all right.
He was nice. After his initial struggles, he was nice.
He had a couple good years back to back, but now we're going way back now. You see what I'm saying?
Eli Manning days. No?
But these years, these cornerbacks didn't have to do a lot. These Corey Websters, because we had that pass rush. That's why Blue Carter is the pick, y'all. If they go off the Shador route. You see why I'm proving my point?
A dual Carter make the DBs we already have a little bit better.
Look nice. That's how they was getting by with Aaron Rosses and Corey Websters and Prince Amukamara's, Terrell Thomas. Wasn't none of these dudes.
Madison.
Wasn't none of these dudes killers out there.
I think that Super Bowl year we had Sam Madison. He was old Corey Webster, Aaron Ross, and Thomas, but he kept getting hurt. Man, we had a decent set of corners. I mean, it was
decent. Exactly.
The philosophy is totally flipped, man. We went to flying flashy instead of the trenches, man. You know, and that's when we started getting punished. You know what I'm saying? When we flipped after that second Super Bowl, that's when we started flipping to the flying flashy. Like 2012 is where you can really go to it. Went Ruben Randall, didn't work out. Wilson got hurt. Hosley was terrible. The JPP of tight ends, Adrian Robinson, was terrible. Brandon Mosley was terrible. Matt McCants was terrible. Marcus Kuhn was actually half decent for what he was supposed to do. Then you go up to the next year. The trenches, Pugh, good. Hankins, good. DeMontre Moore, disappointment. Ryan Nassib was a backup. Cooper Taylor, trash. Eric Herman, trash. Michael Cox, no. But he's a 7th round pick. You're not expecting him to be like some vicious type player. And then you go up to the next year. Like, what were we doing? Odell Beckham, cool. Weston Westberg actually played well with the 49ers. Don't know what we were doing with him. Jay Bromley was not very good. Andre Williams was good for a year or two, and then they just stopped using him. Then Nate Burhay, Devin Kennard, they didn't use him when he was here. He was actually half decent.
He's still playing too, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bennett Jackson, no. Then you go up to the next draft. Like these drafts, Eric Flowers bombed. Eric Flowers bombed. Landon Collins was good for a couple of years. We didn't use Odigizua when he was here. Michael Thomas, gone. Jeremy Davis, gone. Bobby Hart, gone. Then you go up to the next year. Like, our drafts have been awful. Eli Apple, awful. Sterling Shepard, nice.
Darian Thompson, awful. B.J. Goodson, awful. Paul Perkins, awful. Terrell Adams, awful. Then you go up again to the next year. Evan Ingram, dropped everything. Dalvin Tomlinson, trenches again, nice. Davis Webb, good backup. Wayne Gallman gave us what he could. Avery Moss, didn't use him. And then Bisno Wadi or whatever his name was, terrible. Then you go up to the next year.
You know what I'm saying?
Then you go flash again. Barkley, Will Hernandez didn't work out here. Rizzo Carter, bum for here. BJ Hill, nice, didn't keep him. Kyle Laletta, bum. RJ McIntosh, bum. You go up again.
See what I'm saying?
This year we had 3 first-round picks. Daniel Jones, no. Dexter Lawrence,
you hit on one.
Trenches. DeAndre Baker, legit, didn't play 1 year, was getting toasted in that 1 year. O'Shane Zimenez, nothing. Julian Love, didn't keep him. Ryan Connolly was all right backup. Darius Slayton, nice. Corey Ballantyne, didn't know what to use with him. And Chris Slayton and George, nothing.
You're getting nothing from these drafts, bro.
Andrew Thomas, good. Xavier McKinney, didn't keep him. Matt Pert, didn't know how to use him. Darnay Holmes, bomb. Shane Lemieux, bomb. Cam Brown, special teams demon. Carter Coughlin, special teams demon. TJ Brunson and Chris Williamson, bums. And then our team was so bummed that Tate Crowder, at Mr. Irrelevant, was starting at middle linebacker for us. That is absolutely ridiculous. And then the drafts just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. This is how you get the team. Bum.
Taking wide receivers in the first round and all. See what I'm saying? Y'all keep one?
Yeah. Kadarius Toney, bum. Ojolari hurt. Aaron Robinson, bum, hurt. Ellison Smith, bum, hurt. Gary Brightwell, gone. Rodarius Williams, gone. Like, that whole draft class is gone.
Gone.
Because Ojolari is gone.
Nothing.
That whole draft class is nothing.
Yeah.
Then you go up again. Kayvon Thibodeau, question mark. Evan Neal, pretty much a bum. Wardell Robinson, question mark. Azulu, bum. Flott, question mark. Bellinger, don't use him. Belton, about to fade away. Michael McFadden, decent, really good backup, decent starter. DJ Davidson, gonna wash. McKeithen, wash. Barrett, Beavers, wash. Shit, 2023, Banks. Now you got a question mark because you changed the system. John Michael Smith, I guess, question mark. Jalen Hyatt, wash. Eric Gray, wash. Trey Hawkins, wash. Jordan Riley, wash. Owens, wash. And then last year's draft, Malik Neighbors, Newman, Phillips, Johnson, Tracy, Mwasa, no. But the other guys were pretty damn good.
1 year sample size on this draft. 2 years on this one. 3 years on this one. They say after 3, you should know. So this draft is the one you really need to evaluate. Out of these, this was a big draft too. They got a lot of picks.
It was a huge draft, and like I said, you got a chance with Thibodeau don't hit, Neal don't hit, Robinson don't hit, Zudu don't hit, Flott don't hit, Bellinger don't hit, Belton don't hit, Davidson don't hit, McKeithen don't hit,
on all of them.
Yeah, just about all of them.
You can miss on all of them. I think that's why they forced Wan'Dale Robinson in there. I think that's why they forced Neal at tackle. And they forced Azudu into that spot. Because if these guys don't hit, this is a nothing burger. This whole draft.
Yeah.
Picks 1, 2, 3, and 4 should be contributors for your team.
I mean, Thibodeau's a contributor. Wan'Dale Robinson's a contributor. But that's about it. Michael McFadden's a contributor. Other than that, yeah.
See what I'm saying? This is what you cannot have. All these misses in these drafts. Y'all want to compare? You can go look at the Eagles drafts.
Yeah, that draft last year's turned out to be pretty bad, man. Well, that Thibodeau year's turned out to be pretty bad.
Okay. Let's look at Philly. So let's go.
You could pretty much do it from 2018, 2019.
Okay, we'll
they
go.
won a Super Bowl in 2017, didn't they? I think they did.
Okay, cool. 2018, Dallas Goedert. Nice.
Good.
Avonte Maddox.
Was good there for a pretty good amount. Josh Sweat still
Josh
there.
Sweat.
Good. He just signed somewhere else, but he just got a big contract.
Matt
Don't know where Matt Pryor is, but they got Mailata in the seventh round. Top ranked left tackle in the league almost. In the 7th round.
So you didn't have a first round pick. They hit on the 2nd round pick, the 4th round pick, pretty much in the 7th.
Now 2019, wash. All of them. Dillon, Miles Sanders, Whiteside, Shreve Miller, Clayton Thorson, all of them wash.
So they missed on the draft. All right, let's see if they miss on another one. Jalen Reagor, trash.
Wash.
Jalen Hurts, you got him. He won you a Super Bowl. Davion Taylor, you ain't getting nothing out of him. Kevon Wallace.
Nothing.
Jack Driscoll.
Nothing.
John Hightower.
Nothing.
Sean Bradley.
Nothing.
Quez Watkins.
Got something out of him. He's still there too, I think.
And Tuhill and Wanago.
Nothing.
All right. So he ain't really do here, but you got your quarterback. So
yeah.
All right. Now that you got your quarterback, let's see what they do next. Devontae Smith.
Hit.
Landon Dickerson.
Hit.
Milton Williams.
Hit. He just left for the top paid defensive tackle in the league.
Zach McPherson.
No.
Nah. Kenneth Gainwell. He been all right.
Yeah, what he was supposed to do.
Marlon Tupelo.
No.
Taryn Jackson.
No.
Jacoby Stevens.
No.
Patrick Johnson.
No, but
they hit on the ones they should have hit.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3, excellent. That's what you try to do in those drafts and get a good player in those mid-round drafts that can contribute. That's what you normally do when you're a good GM. No GM hits perfect every draft. And we're proving that right now. They had 2 drafts that are almost washes. But when you develop, you good. All right, the next one.
So 2022, Jordan Davis.
Hit.
Cam Jurgens.
Hit.
N'Kobe Dean.
Hit.
Kyron Johnson.
No.
Grant Catella.
Yep, a role player. Always comes in and makes crucial catches for him. Almost another draft where they get fully hits, and they only have 5 picks. So 4 of those picks are contributors.
Yep. And you see, folks, if you notice, drafts where you get a lot of picks, you don't necessarily get a lot of hits.
No, you don't.
Those drafts that you get a couple picks, you got to make.
You got to hit on them motherfuckers.
You got to make them shits count.
Yep.
So 2023
hit.
East, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith,
hit.
Tyler Steen,
hit.
Sidney Brown,
hit.
Keelan Ringo,
hit.
Tanner McKee,
actually a hit. He came in and played pretty well.
And Ojomo.
And he does what he's supposed to do. So that's a damn good draft too.
Another good draft. And you can see the games by games played. These guys are playing. That's the difference. Now, if I go back to the Giants joint, what's this? 2023. Giants 2023. So yeah, we can compare. You know what I'm saying? So you seeing that draft for the Eagles, and then the Giants draft, and then this is the Philly draft. Big difference. See what I'm saying? Look at all the hits they got in these 2 drafts. That's why you got a big gap. Look at the 2023 draft for Philly and the 2022 draft for Philly, and now look at the Giants.
Look how many hits they had the past 2 drafts. Jalen Carter won.
Oh, hold up. Now look at the Giants. You can go through. See what I'm saying? So if you want to give, we just count the question marks. Kayvon Thibodeau, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael McFadden, Deontay Banks, John Michael Smith, Jalen Hyatt. I ain't even gonna count him. I think he's done.
He don't even touch the field.
Yeah, Deontay Banks and John Michael Smith. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And they all ifs. All right, now go to Philly. Hit. Hit.
Ojomo too is a hit.
See what I'm saying?
All those dudes contribute.
These drafts are way better.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shit, that's
versus 5 possibles. And Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are
damn. So they only
nice.
You can only say they missed on 2 picks out of 12 out of the last 12 picks out of those 12 picks in the 2022-2023 draft. That's why they've been punishing people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are hits, man. You know what I'm saying?
Now look at the Giants. Where is the see what I'm saying? And you had how many picks? How many picks the Giants had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 picks in those 2 years. 18 picks. Philly had.
And you can't say.
Let's go to Philly now. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They only had 12 picks. And damn near hit on all of them. You had 18. And they ain't hit shit that we feel good about. Maybe Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, out of those 18 picks, Kayvon Thibodeau was probably the only one that you could say that was a legit hit.
We don't feel good about Banks or John Michael Smith. They feeling not too good about these two players.
I mean,
all these guys are trash.
But Kayvon Thibodeau, you even questioning giving him his 5th year option. So yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is another reason to take Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
this guy probably ain't gonna be here.
We're literally showing you exactly why we're getting dog walked. We're showing you.
See what I mean? How Washington catch up to y'all? Only difference between Washington and us right now, well, before the last year, was the quarterback. That was it.
Yeah, we're talking about 2022, 2023, man. We're not talking about last year.
Last year's draft, I'm not going to go through last year's draft because those guys only played 1 year. I didn't even go to Philly's draft last year.
Yeah.
You can't judge it. I'm not going to say those players are good or bad. They had good seasons. They all did. I feel good about that draft. I don't feel good about these drafts right here at all. At all. I'm hoping John Michael Smith don't turn into a mush. So we can keep our line together. And I'm hoping Deontay Banks can at least be a decent CB2. Everybody else, I'm like, especially that 2022 class, man. They can all
go to Commanders last 2 drafts before that.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Commanders and Dallas.
Yeah.
Y'all hit that like button. Appreciate y'all tuning in to New York Giants Conversation. We are going around the NFC East and talking NFC East draft. NFC East drafts. And we're trying to figure out why the Giants so damn bad in the NFC East. How did these teams get so much better than the New York Giants? I tend to think it's about drafting primarily, coaching as well. But let's take a look at some of these drafts since this is draft season. Let's go. All right. Commanders. Let's talk about the Commanders. I gotta fight the ads, y'all. So y'all can see the screen. All right. Where did we start? We started with 2018 with Philly, so we'll start here. All right, 2018, Deron Payne.
Hit.
Darius Geis.
No.
Nuttenberger. Jerron Christian.
No.
Nuttenberger. Troy App.
I'm gonna save you some time. There's no all the way down.
Tim
Good
Settle. Yeah. So
First round pick
one.
Good, but yeah, one.
They got 1 out of 18. All right. Go to 19. Dwayne Haskins. We all know about that.
Rest in
Haskins.
peace, but that was a no.
Yep. Missed there. Montez Sweat.
That was a hit, but he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Terry McLaurin.
Hit.
Definite hit. Bryce Love.
No.
This dude didn't even play. Look at the games play. He didn't even play. Wes Martin.
No.
Nope. This guy, however you pronounce his name,
No.
Cole.
No. He played
Kevin
a couple
Harmon.
of games, was decent, but no. No.
Jimmy Moreland.
No.
Jordan Braith.
No.
All right, so you got 2 out of that one. Sweat and McLaurin. All right. 2020. Chase Young.
No.
Antonio Gibson.
He was decent, but he's gone.
Side Charles.
No.
Antonio Gadden Golden.
No.
Keith Ishmael.
No. Well,
Cameron
Cam Curl
Curl.
was decent, but he's not there anymore. And James Smith Williams, no.
Another bad draft. So the Commanders, like the
You
Giants,
see,
have been
what-
drafting bad. That's why they've been at the
Exactly.
bottom. Let's see where it changed. Let's keep going. All right, 2021. Jermaine Davis.
He's playing good now that he's got an actual coach that knows what to do with him. So hit.
Cosme.
No.
St. Jude.
He plays. He's not that great, but he plays.
Yami. I thought De'Ami Brown was pretty good. They let
Yeah,
him
he was
go.
good. They let him go.
John Bates.
Does what he's supposed to do.
Force.
No.
Cheese Man.
Does what he's supposed to do.
Bradley King.
No.
Shaka Tony, Dax Smiling, no. So give him Brown, I guess, and Davis.
Brown, Davis, you gotta give St. Juice because
St.
he
Jude.
plays. Bates because he plays, and the long snapper because he's the long snapper. He can't really miss with a long snapper.
Nah,
You gotta give him 4.
All right, 2022. All right, Jahan Dotson.
No.
Fadarian Mathis.
No.
Brian Robinson Jr.
Hell yeah, that's what
Hit.
I want, but hit.
Percy Butler.
No.
Sam Biles, you call
No.
him. Cole Turner.
Does what he's supposed to do.
Chris Paul, not the basketball player.
Right. No.
Christian Holmes.
Does what he's supposed to do, special teams.
I'm giving him Robinson, bro. Everybody else is, yeah. All right. 23, Emmanuel Forbes.
Hell no.
Cook food out there. Quan Martin.
No.
Ricky Stromberg.
No.
Oop. Braden Daniels.
No.
KJ Henry.
No.
Chris
Does
Rodriguez.
what he's supposed to do.
Andre Jones.
Does what he's supposed to do.
All right. 2024.
That's where it all
Jaden
changed.
Daniels.
Hit.
Yeah. Newton.
Hit.
Sandstrell.
Hit.
Sanat.
Hit.
Coleman.
Hit.
McCaffrey.
Hit.
Maggie.
Does what he's
One
supposed
Maggie.
to do, but no.
Dominique Hampton. He ain't getting on the
Special
field
teams.
much. And
Does what he's supposed to do.
John
Baptiste is
Batch.
pretty good.
so now the Commanders, much like the Giants, have been missing on a lot of drafts, except 2024 draft. And that's the draft where they got their quarterback. That is the difference between these two franchises, in my opinion. We just went to the drafts. They've been missing just as probably worse than the Giants. They had some awful drafts. But this one and that quarterback is what changed you. Why I want Shedeur Sanders. Let's talk. We showing you the difference. The Eagles just been drafting well, very well, especially in the trenches. Commanders ain't been drafting no better than you have. They got a quarterback and a system that they want to run. So now they're able to put players in that system. Now they're able to make trades, go get offensive linemen. Now they can, spend in free agency, put things around their quarterback. They got the centerpiece already rocking right now. You seen how the Eagles drafted after the Jalen Hurts draft once they got their guy in there. I showed you guys that. The very next drive, what they do? Get Devontae Smith.
That's a fact.
Start building them trenches up. And then right after that, they traded for A.J. Brown. The Giants don't got to take Travis Hunter. You got Malik Neighbors. You don't have to double up on receiver in the first round. That's not how you build a team. No. I don't want him at receiver or corner at this point. And I know I sound like I'm bashing Travis Hunter, but that's not the case, man. I think he's awesome. If he go to a team like Kansas City, Buffalo, the Saints, I mean, he's going to do better there than he's not going to do well here. I promise you he's not going to do well here with the way this Giants roster is set up and these coaches act. You got to get the quarterback, man. That's the difference between you and Washington right now. In Dallas, we're going to get to Dallas's draft in a minute, but they losing pieces via free agency now. That's what's killing them. So now they're going to be back in the position that the Giants and Washington were in when them and Philly were on top. They got to go start building back through the draft now because they got a quarterback on the hook for a lot of money. So now you got to draft well. You ain't going to be able to get a bunch of free agents in here. Washington has the ability to go and get players now because they don't have nothing like draft-wise really except these past few drafts to build on. So now you can go get free agents and things like that. The Giants can put themselves in the same position if you get the quarterback in here first. We can't survive much long with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. This is like a 1 to 2 year thing, if that. And if you don't get a player now, a quarterback, when you're picking third, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be good enough to not allow you to be picking third again.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Any questions, comments, concerns before we move along, man? We're going to get to Dallas's draft. Then we're going to talk a little more. Then I'm going to open up the call line. And I got a little Giants trivia game if you guys want to play along later. Like I said, put comments in the chat. I'll try to start some comments and read them along. I haven't been paying attention to the chat that much. My bad. But I see you guys in there. The difference is simply coaching development. Washington changed with the coaching along with developing players. Maribel over the rails, bringing in Dumb and Dumber back. Yeah,
some of the players that were already there developed into very good players because of the development and the system that was brought. I keep trying to tell people philosophy is the most important thing to your team. And then you add Jaden Daniels to that, guess what? You go up like a ticket time bomb because now nobody knows what you're about. Now let's see what they do next year when everybody knows what they're about. Mm-hmm. I still think they're going to be a very good team, but now you got a little bit of what Jaden Daniels and them are about. They had to figure out what to do with McLaurin later on in the season. At first, McLaurin wasn't getting any targets, and then their offensive coordinator started infusing McLaurin into the scheme, and it became pretty good. Noah Brown, people don't really know about him, was very good.
Miami Brown was very good last year. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of the bum that didn't want to get down with it. And what's the receiver that got traded to the Eagles and didn't do shit over there either?
Oh yeah,
Jahan Dotson. They got rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
You had a system to where Jahan Dotson was your number 2 receiver, a guy that's not doing anything. And you saw what their offense was doing. And then they put in a system where Brian Robinson became even more effective because Jaden Daniels was back there in the backfield. They knew how to use him. You got a dynamic runner at the quarterback position, so now Brian Robinson becomes more of a focal point. And then you brought in Austin Eckler, who's a catcher back, running back out the backfield, who's a little bit more of a slasher than what Brian Robinson is. They had different things to go with Jaden Daniels. That's why they went from bum to damn near the Super Bowl, because you didn't know what they were about, and they were developing people that were already there. We need something like that. We need a coach that can come in here and develop these players to get them to play up to their potential. Because if we got a coach that can come in and get the best out of Thibodeau, McFadden, Banks, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, like, we got people here. We just don't have the philosophy. We don't have the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And when people keep trying to tell me, oh, it's all about the quarterback. No, it's not really all about the quarterback. You do need a quarterback. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. But if you got a quarterback with no freaking scheme, what's that quarterback gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels can be dynamic all he wants to be, but if you put him in a system that he's not conducive to his skill set, you're gonna get him killed.
And real quick, Rainey says our QB is on the Patriots bench. Honestly, I'm talking about Joe Milton.
Yeah, after one game playing against backups, I got you.
Here's what I want to say. We got to talk about Brian Dable and QB development here for a second, because what we like to do here is teach as well as talk. Brian Dable has worked with Brady Quinn, Derek Anderson, just going through some of the QBs that he's had in his tenure. Colt McCoy, Jake Delhomme, Seneca Wallace. Let's see. Let me get to the Miami year. He worked with Matt Moore, Chad Henne, JP Lossman. Any of those names feel good about? 2012, actually, Kansas City had Matt Castle and Brady Quinn again. Still couldn't do nothing with Brady Quinn.
Matt Castle left and became very good. When he got away from Dable.
And good that year. Buffalo, we know he had Tyrod Taylor. But that was the Josh Allen, Derek Anderson, Nathan Peterman, and Matt Barkley. The only one who did anything with wasn't Josh Allen. The rest of those dudes were terrible, like historically terrible. People still make jokes about Nathan Peterman. So now, same thing in Buffalo has been Josh Allen, pretty much. And then, of course, with the Giants, you had Tommy DeVito, Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Davis Webb, and what's my man that played last year? I can't think his name. Drew Lock. So, what about this guy screams quarterback whisperer? What about this guy that he's proven that he can just make these developmental quarterbacks good? This is why when we talk about taking a developmental guy, second, third round, stuff like that, I'm not with that. He hasn't proven he can do that. Josh Allen was a first round talent.
So, Kev,
Kev, salute, man. Long time no hear, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. What about this guy that he is proven that he can do anything outside of a quarterback just being that dude? And then you just coaching like normal coaches do. I think a lot of coaches could have turned Josh Allen to what he is today. I don't think this is a Brian Dable special.
That has always been weird to me. Like, he's known as a quarterback whisperer, but he hasn't developed not one quarterback.
He ain't developed nobody.
Like, you can't even give him Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts had to leave Alabama to go to Oklahoma.
You can go back to the Alabama days. Y'all college football fans, y'all could do that. I was just talking about the NFL. But you made a good point. Hurts ain't do nothing. I mean, Hurts was all right, but it ain't like that because it was because of Brian Dable.
Man, you dudes be crazy. This dude said, big body and arm and speed. What more do you want at the quarterback? How about anticipation throws? How about being able to read coverages? How about being able to build a system around them? How about knowing when and when not to throw the ball? How about being able to throw the ball in small windows? How about being able to maneuver in the pocket? How about being able to lead a team?
I just gave you the names, Brennan. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Hit that like and subscribe button for your boys over here, man. We do this every Sunday. I just gave you the QBs outside of Josh Allen. He hasn't proven anything. And Josh Allen was a first-round top 10 quarterback. And I promise you, any coach with a decent brain could have made Josh Allen to what Josh Allen is today. He has it. He has it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you had to clean up with Josh Allen was the turnovers.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And he was a little inaccurate his first couple years. But now, like, what we talking about? That wasn't no Brian Dable special. Why he couldn't do it with Daniel Jones? He's so good,
Shout out to Iman Perry because that is freaking true. Jim Harbaugh is a true QB whisperer. That's a fact. Andrew Luck, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, J.J. McCarthy, Justin Herbert. All them dudes got better when he came around. And then then Rainey, you be saying some crazy stuff. Yeah, he outperformed May in the preseason. You're talking about preseason games and one game against backups, and he's the truth. You do know Daniel Jones looked very good in the preseason, right?
Yeah, we know Brandon Jones is a bum, but I just reeled off a whole list of quarterbacks. Colt McCoy, Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn was considered one of the top quarterbacks in that class.
All those dudes are first-round picks.
Yeah, Colt McCoy.
So you can't just say he needs a first-round pick. He's had first-round
Matt
pick.
Morris. God, what's the other guy's name, man? The dude for the Chiefs, Matt Castle. I mean, come on. He's had quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So every quarterback is trash, right? Or is it the coach?
He's the quarterback whisperer. He's supposed to make
them better. If they trash,
if you're a dog whisperer, a dog is out playing, going out his mind. You're supposed to get him to be good.
A first-round talent.
Go ahead.
A first-round talent. You can't develop first-round talent. You can't develop first-round. We're not talking about seventh-round picks. You can't develop a first-round talent. You ain't no quarterback whisperer. You got guys out here doing work with second and third rounders. Dak is a third rounder. Jalen Hurts is a second rounder. I don't want no smoke. Come on, bro. What y'all doing, man?
That's the whole definition. Yeah, that's the whole definition of a quarterback whisperer. You take people's deficiencies and make them good. How you gonna be a quarterback whisperer if every quarterback you get was already?
You gotta be nice, out of the box, dog.
Then I can be a quarterback whisperer. Then give me Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson before he became a size Watson.
Yeah, let me coach Cam
and I'll
Ward.
Be a quarterback whisperer too.
He gonna be nice. Let me coach Shedeur Sanders. Yup, I'm gonna get all the credit. Yeah, it's me. I made him, son. work like that. It don't work like that. All right, man. Let's get to the Cowboys. Take a look at the Cowboys drafts.
That was not Dabo's scheme that got us to the playoffs. That was freaking Kafka.
Dead. You damn right. Don't you disrespect Kafka. Why they talking about giving him the
first year?
Why they talking about giving him the play calling back then? Huh? If Dabo so good for nothing is what he is.
Drew Lock is a first round talent. Why he couldn't do nothing with Drew Lock? He can move.
Daniel Jones is a first round talent.
Yeah, he can move and got a big arm. That was not Brian Dabo's scheme. Because why the whole scheme changed after that when he took over the play calls? That's some common sense.
That's a fact, bro. The scheme was different. All right. Cowboys 2018. They took Leighton Vander Esch. Pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. That was a hit. He just got hurt. Connor Williams.
Yep. Michael Gallup.
Did what he was supposed to do.
Dorrance Armstrong.
Hit.
Dalton Schultz.
Hit.
Mike White.
Nah, he did what he was supposed to do.
Chris Covington.
No.
Never heard of. Cedric Wilson Jr.
He was actually pretty good for considering what he was.
Mm-hmm. And Bo Scarborough. Running back, 7th round. All right. Tyson Hill, 2019, D tackle.
No.
He ain't do nothing. Connor McGovern.
Decent.
Mm-hmm. Tony Pollard.
That was a hit.
Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson.
No.
Joe
Jackson
Jackson
drafted his daddy right after that.
I'm done, yo. I'm done. The Cowboys be trolling for real.
They took
both
Michael
of them in the
Jackson,
5th
his
round.
daddy right after that, and both of them were from Miami, and both of them were nose.
Oh, that's some funny shit. Donovan Wilson.
Hit.
Mike Weber.
No.
And Jalen Jelks.
No.
All right. So Cowboys not doing too bad. First couple drafts, some hits, some misses. CeeDee Lamb. Here we go.
Hit.
Trayvon Diggs, Gallimore. Reggie
doing
Robinson, second. He ain't do nothing. Tyler Battis, hit. Brayley Alley, nothing. Ben, we see 5th, 7th round picks. Okay. The first couple ones was hits, though. All right. 2021. Need we say more? Kelvin Joseph.
Nah.
Odighizuwa. Chauncey Golston, who we just got. Nice Sean Wright.
Did what he's supposed to do.
Jabril Cox.
Hit.
Josh Ball.
Nah.
Hoko. Ohana. Mukamua. Why y'all put these Cowboys? I hate talking about the Cowboys draft already. Farnoak. No. So they missed on the late round picks. Pretty much all of them. 2022, Tyler Smith.
Hit.
Sam Williams.
He's a hit. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's a hit when he's not acting crazy.
8.5 sacks. So. All right. Jalen Tolbert.
Hit.
Jake Ferguson.
Hit.
Matt Walzuko.
I
don't think he. Deron Bland.
Hit.
Pretty good. Damon Clark.
Hit.
John Ridgway.
Hit. Doing what he's supposed to do.
Devin Harper. Nothing. Probably 12 games though. Maybe a special teamer. Pretty good draft. 2023, Mozzie Smith.
Question mark.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. Luke Shoemaker. Shoemaker be doing his thing though.
Yeah, that's a hit.
DeMarvion Overshown.
That's a hit when he's not hurt.
Hoko. Didn't they just draft him?
I don't know. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, Fihoko. I knew I ain't tripping. Sami right here. Sami Fihoko, 2021. And is this his brother? What school they go to? Stanford. Let me see. And then they went and got this guy. This is not a fucking common name, bro.
Fihoko? Yeah, it got to be related somehow.
Yeah. I was like, wait, it's the same guy. Asim Richards. I don't think you get much out of him. Eric Scott. Deuce Vaughn been pretty good. Jalen Brooks.
He does what he's supposed to, but you can't say it hit, but he does what he's supposed to.
Yeah, so iffy on that front. All right, and last year, Tyler Guyton, Marshawn Keelan. Yeah, we're not gonna do 2024. So, all right, man. But like the Cowboys have been drafting okay. I mean, they're not killing it, but they're not getting like they get hits on every draft. That's what I noticed. They're consistent. They're consistent. They don't have a draft where they don't get anything out of.
Yeah.
Every draft.
They're going to get something out of every draft.
And some good, like, Pro Bowl players out of every draft. So.
The problem with the Cowboys is their mindset when it comes to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They're babied a whole lot. So when it comes to the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? When it's do or die, they seem to fail. You know, this fan base is so fickle. How can you not say that was not Kafka's play calling in that very first year? Dabo said he gave him the play calling that very first year. And it turns out Dabo took over, the whole play calling changed, didn't it? So obviously that was Kafka's play calling that very first year when we got into the playoffs.
They've reported it, bro. You ain't got to say nothing else. They reported it. That's why they asking if Dabo should give the play calling back to Kafka. Why you think your owner, they asked your owner, and he said, yeah, this is something we got to think about, making Dabo give up the play calling.
That's a fact. That's a fact. What are we doing here?
Y'all just trolling. Don't do that.
And then a question was put in there to say he needs a first-round quarterback. We give you multiple first-round quarterbacks that he's had with him, and he hasn't produced with them, whether you want to say they're sorry or not. So you can't say, oh, he just needs a first-round quarterback. No, he's had first-round quarterbacks. Young first-round quarterbacks.
Just went through them. And they want to say, oh, they trash. They trash. They first-round talents.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a quarterback whisperer,
you're not working with Davis Webbs and Cal Lettas. You're not working with backup quarterbacks. You got two more first rounders to work with. What more do you want? Well, Jameis is a first rounder. Russ was in the second, third round?
He was in the third.
But should have been a first round talent. His height is what dropped him down rounds. I remember that draft. He got drafted. Yeah, I know my shit. So he's got the talent. He just ain't doing his job. So y'all could take up for that dude all you want to. I don't care. I know what he is. That's why they wanted Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford, because guess what? They're gonna make Brian Dable look good. He's gonna have to put in work with a rookie quarterback. You're gonna have to work, dog. You're gonna have to do some work. You ain't just gonna try this raggedy ass playbook out there and hope somebody makes some plays. That's what he wanna do. You're gonna have to put in work with a rookie.
And that's another factor, Jay Ferris. Why do you think Kafka was a finalist for the Saints job? Because of what he did in 2020. People know who the play caller was.
Yeah.
Because if that was all Brian Dable, what reason would you give Kafka an interview if Brian Dable did all the work as far as the play call and everything? Like, make it make sense. We might have a quarterback whisperer on this team, but it might be Kafka. Because Kafka was the only one that made Daniel Jones look like an NFL quarterback. Let's keep it a buck. He will never get any type of interview if it was all just Dabo that year. He will never get an interview.
Watched Kafka at the Senior Bowl work with quarterbacks.
That's a fact.
And seeing the quarterbacks get better throughout the practices. I know this dude can coach.
I know talked to Kafka.
Yeah, and I know that was him coaching that team in 2022 on offense. The scheme is completely different. He ran what Daniel Jones was good at, which is RPO, Because Daniel Jones is not a quarterback that's going to read the entire field. You got to make him make quick decisions and see shit open. That's why it was working. Okay, you either going to run Daniel or you going to pull it out or you going to hand it to Saquon. And if not, we're going to have these little quick drags to the tight ends. They was doing with Bellinger, the little dump off routes and shit. Drag over the middle with Richie James and shit like that. Quick game, easy type passing scheme. Brian Dable, he told you. I'm proving the point because these suckers think I don't know football. Brian Dable told you he wanted to do what? Throw the ball more down the field, more explosive plays. That's why they quit running the RPO shit so much and started trying to attack down the field, but it wasn't working because they didn't have the line to
exactly
routes.
That's why Kafka ran that system with the tight ends, RPO, Daniel
Why
Jones.
You think they don't use Daniel Bellinger no more?
Right,
16. Fuck with me. So,
like
I know football,
get
dog.
what you dudes talking about that.
Don't make no sense.
That very first year, that was all Kafka with that scheme, bro. Because he knew, and he did that with no offensive line. Daniel Jones at quarterback, Richie James at receiver, Darius Slayton didn't even play hardly until week 5. Come on, man. Like that. Imagine what Kafka could have done with the talent that they have now if he got the chance to. That's why the Saints was like, yeah, we might want to get this dude a job. But since Kellen Moore came off a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Give Kellen Moore the job. You know what I'm saying? I still think Kafka should be the coach of the New Orleans Saints right now, and I think they will be booming. Yeah, he had no Malik Neighbors. He had no Jalen High. He had no Wan'Dale Robinson. He had nobody out there, man. Like, come on. He didn't have a Theo Johnson. He did it with Bellinger, what Dable can't seem to do with his scheme. He did it with Bellinger and a bunch of other tight ends you've never heard of.
You know what I mean? Richie James.
Did he have Saquon Barkley? Yes.
Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, and Kadarius Toney, and the ghost of Kenny Galladay out there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Man, look.
Talk that nonsense if you want to, man.
If you want to.
That makes sense.
Exactly. If you want to. But, man, we're going to take a little commercial break, man. And then we're going to open up the call lines. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts on what we've been discussing. Because this Giants fan base has to understand one thing. You guys are putting your faith in people that you shouldn't be putting your faith in, you know, because these guys have been hoodooing this entire fan base the entire time, and I've been pointing it out, you know. So if you think it's the best move for these guys to just take whatever player, the best player available, and try to win games in 2025, you're going to be very disappointed again as a Giants fan. I just showed you guys what this division has been building through the draft and how they've been building it through the draft and why you're behind. Why you are behind.
It's a fact, man.
You know, we showing you what it is and what it ain't. Now, if you want to come up here and argue the facts, I still got my tabs up. I'll pull it back up again and show you guys again so that you understand. Not now, nobody's here. Nobody comes on these streams to troll or give you false information. You know, we're giving you the stuff that you're not going to hear in the media. That's why y'all here. You're not going to see it on ESPN. You want to cut on ESPN? No problem with ESPN. Cut on ESPN, hear the same shit over and over again. The same regurgitated takes that they spin over all the networks. NFL Network. I know how media works. They regurgitate the same spins. It's called narrative. I'm giving you the narrative that's not out there in the media. The real narrative. So you could argue you could fuss, you could say what you want to say, but when it happens, and I come back on here again, and I say, I told y'all, like I've been doing, like Pat been doing, then you're gonna know that we not just some fools up here trolling. You know what I'm saying? We not just some fools up here trolling. You know. But man, shout out to New York Giants Full Access. That is basically our sister show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So where me and Pat go in on the New York Giants and have special guests and content creators and all that good stuff, man. So we're gonna play the commercial and come right back. And I will open up the call lines. And if you guys want to play, I got Name the Giant trivia game up if y'all want to try to guess Name the Giant. So we're going to have some more fun, man. Y'all tapped into New York Giants conversation. Also, tap in during the week to New York Giants Full Access, hosted by my big bro, Big Pat Sports Talk.
4, 3, 2, 1. Connect!
Thank you guys for tuning in, and look,
I'm feeling pretty good.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.
All right, man. Let's get back into it. Let me drop the link for y'all. And we gonna talk. Boom! Here we go. Y'all hit that link. And let's get this Giants conversation cracking, man. But to be honest with y'all, I think the New York Giants.
We got one.
You got a guess. Okay, I see. All right. Got two. All right. Let's get back into is it this one, Pat?
No, hold on. I think we can do it with the which one is it? I gotta recreate it, but we can do it like this for now.
All right. Cool, man. Welcome to the show, the Giant. We got the Giant, man. Appreciate you tapping in. What is going on, man? You on Giants conversation, man. Let's talk Giants, man. What's good with you?
Hey, I'm good, man. What's up, y'all? Hey, it's actually E-Man Perry in the chat. This is like
E-Man.
Oh, E-Man. What's going on?
What's good with you,
Yeah,
man?
me, bro.
Finally get to see you, man. What's good with you? There you go.
Good. Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you, man. Hey, I just want to say, thank you, man. You guys for like doing this channel, man. Because this is really cool, and I can see, the vision of what y'all really trying to do. I love all the other channels and like all the other stuff, but you guys give the truth, and the network is looking really good with like all the other, stuff like wrestling and stuff like that, and hockey and rugby. That's real nice, man.
Thank you,
But
man.
yeah,
I appreciate you, man. And thanks for being You know, one of my day ones. I call y'all my day ones. I got my other one in the chat right now. Ghost Dog about to come on, but yeah, man, like, bro,
Yeah, no problem, man.
Finally meet you, bro. But man, let's talk Giants, man.
Yeah, I mean, like everything y'all saying, you know, I agree with like 99.99% everything y'all say, and you know, this is why I agree with what Big Lou has said. You know, no more of that Bill Belichick tree, because what I'm seeing from my point of view is like he's trying to do what Bill Belichick did. Him and Joe Shane are trying to do what Bill Belichick did in terms of like, you know, letting the really good talent, letting them walk out and thinking they can, you know, have a good team, and like just, you know, finding like these, you know, multifaceted players that can do anything at all positions. Kind of like what Bill Belichick did. Like he would let guys like Randy Moss, he would trade him, you know, let him go 1 year sooner than than 1 year later. I remember that because I live in Minnesota. I remember when they traded Randy Moss, I was just like, damn, really? But the show continued, you know, because they got Brady, and then they always got these other guys where they're not like big stars, like big names per se, but they were like solid players. You know, like if you look at their defense, like the McCourty brothers, they were really good, right? You know, defensively, you know, they weren't like mega superstars, but they had them, like, you know, guys like Logan Ryan, guys like what's the name, the other one, Patrick Chung, but they would always find a way to pull out those wins, and that's kind of what they're doing. But now they finding out, you in 2025, you gotta pay these players, man. You gotta pay the good players, you know. And what I was just thinking was like how the team would look if they would have kept most of the other guys. Like, let's say they would have kept Leo, right? They would have kept, McKinney, and then they added Burns, and then they would have kept, Barkley, and then, you know, add what's his name, or draft, what's his name, Tracy. How better would the team look? You know what I'm saying? How much better would the team look? How much better would we be if we had better players and ran the same system we did in 2022? We'd probably win like 10, at least 11, 12, 13 games. Because if you look at the Eagles, right, people was getting on Daniel Jones about throwing only 15 touchdowns, right? And Jalen Hurts only threw 18. And they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, so the difference is just 3 touchdowns, you know, rushing or passing touchdowns. But the only thing is, he had a much better team, way better offensive line. He got the running back, of course. He got better receivers, and then their defense was good on all levels: D-line, linebackers, and the secondary. So I just think what they're trying to do, they still stuck, or Dabo's still stuck on that Bill Belichick philosophy, you know, that Bill Belichick mindset in terms of, you know, not paying players, or, you know, trying to get players that's going to do all of these, you know, like be like Swiss Army knives, basically. Not today, man. You're going to have to pay these players, man. You see Myles Garrett getting 40. You see Chase getting 40. Like, people getting paid, man, and the salary cap is going up. You can't be afraid to, you know, open up the checkbook, and then you got to use the players. I just feel like he was trying to get rid of the Dave Gettleman guys from day one, and now, you know, they're going to have to rely on Darius Slayton for that number two spot to still kind of help save his career. But that's just kind of all I've been, you know, I've been looking at this thing. And as far as drafting a quarterback, I wanted Shador, you know, and Shador, you know, like it's basically like all, you know, celebrity parents or celebrity kids, you know, they try to, you know, talk bad about him. And I think some of the teams actually that want to draft him are talking bad about him because they want him to fall. So I think that's a bunch of nonsense. You know, if we get Shador, I think he'll be good. You just got to protect him, find a good system for him. That's it. And, you know, a lot of the stuff they're saying about Shador, they said about Aaron Rodgers, you know, and look what happened. You see what I'm saying? You see a lot of that. A lot of really, like most of the great quarterbacks fall further than where they should have been picked. You know what I mean? Like Brady was what?
Lamar Jackson.
Montana was what, second round? Drew Brees was what, second round? You know, Patrick
Russell Wilson, third round.
Wilson, 10th. Even if you go to the old school, like Johnny Unitas, I think he's like a 5th round pick, right? Him, Roger Staubach, he was like later on in that draft, and him and his like 2 other Hall of Famers on the Cowboys were in that draft. But
I think
that's what I'm saying. Like,
he was supposed to go.
Yeah, you just got to build a really good team. You know what I mean? And then and build a system for the quarterback. If you have a good team, and you even put an average quarterback in there, he'll look all right. And if you put a really good quarterback in there, he'll look great. And if you put a great quarterback in there, you win multiple championships. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of my thinking. And yeah, I mean, unless you got questions for me, but yeah.
Yeah, I wanna ask you, you said something about the Belichick philosophy and them trying to basically get these players that that play these different positions, that's versatile and all this and all that. That just further insinuates the fact that Brian Dable don't got no system. You just getting players hoping they fit. Well, if we run this, can you run this? If we do this, can you do that?
Yeah.
Like, the difference with the 49ers and Adam Peters specifically, who I wanted as a GM for the Giants when it was between him, Shane, and Poles.
Yeah.
He went to Washington and they drafted Jaden Daniels and immediately start building that system for Jaden Daniels. Yep. Now watch how they draft this year. They're going to get players specifically for what they do that can run certain things that they want to do in their scheme. They don't get players to say, like these dudes, best player available. Let's just get Mason Graham. Oh, go out there, Mason. Be great. What do you want me to do? Just do something. Make plays. Like, you don't have no plan. And I've been talking about this for a while. They don't have a real solid plan.
Yeah.
You know, I think the defense might have a little bit of a plan. Even I'm still watching on Shane Bowen too, because he be looking weird out there. And that's part of probably because he's getting his orders from Dable.
Yeah. Wink was the perfect DC for the Giants in the NFC East, man. I mean, if we would have had better players, oh yeah, we would have tore our house down, man. For real. I mean, we got good players too on defense, but if we would have had more, if we would have added more, like the Eagles, and build depth like that, oh yeah, nobody would have been touching us.
Yeah.
Imagine having Jordan Davis or what's his name, Carter or Jalen Carter next to Dexter Lawrence. Jesus Christ.
Shit, they got Davis, and they didn't say, man, we ain't gonna take Jalen Carter because we got Davis. No, they said we're gonna get Jalen Carter because we got Davis.
But they put themselves in that position year after year because they're winning. They're winning, so they're not drafting for need. I said this is the first year that the Giants will not be drafting in the first round for somebody that has to start on their team immediately.
Yeah.
They have the option to play that player or bench him. Regardless, we can go through the positions. Quarterback, you got Russ and Winston. D tackle, you have the Roy Robert Harrison and Dexter Lawrence and Nacho. You don't have to start Mason Graham if you take them. You don't have to start Abdul Carter. You have Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns if you don't want to. You don't have to start Travis Hunter. You got Banks and Adebo if you don't want to. You have Neighbors and Slayton if you don't want to. This is the only year where your rookie shouldn't be thrust in to produce right away.
Facts.
So I think they're getting better. I will give them credit. They're getting better. But let's not for 1 second think that this New York Giants team is going to draft a Travis Hunter or Duke Carter or somebody and go out there and compete next year and try to win games in the NFC East. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. You're getting there, but you're not there yet.
I think they would be if they had a good philosophy. I'll tell you that.
We'll see if it changes. Yeah, we'll see if it changes, but I still think you're a little light in the trenches. And again, like you said, the coaching and philosophy is very, very questionable. So,
cool, man. I hope these guys are going. I would have Kafka in there as the coach and move Brandon Brown up. Like, I think that'll be a good combo. If we can get a good DC,
I think we got the combo. It's the backups. That's the combo.
Yeah.
Kafka and Brandon Brown. You know what I'm saying? It's and that's what it's gonna be, man. You know, but yeah. Any last thoughts, man, before we get Ghost Dog in here?
Yeah, the whole Daniel Jones thing, man. I think he's gonna do good. Like I joke, him winning that Super Bowl, but I think if he does, that's gonna really shine an even bigger light on the Giants, bro. If he even Snips
Man, if
Super
Daniel
Bowl,
Jones
get an
throws
MVP
more than
season.
20 touchdowns, it's gonna shine a light on the Giants. And that's a
Yo,
fact.
Oh man, yeah, but man, y'all brothers keep doing it. Yo, what y'all doing, man? I love the show, man. Thank y'all, man. I'm gonna head out there and I'm gonna see y'all later.
come back
All right,
to the show, Iman,
Uh-huh.
man. I
Yeah.
like talking to you, bro.
Yep,
Like,
yeah.
pause, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like having a convo without in the chat, because you know,
Yeah.
we be busy. I can't read the chat all the time.
Yeah,
So
I'll be sending big ass paragraphs and shit.
yeah, man, we all do. I be doing the same thing, trying to get everything out, man. But your platform is always welcome here. You are part of the Aboriginal Sports Network, in my opinion. All you guys in the chat, man, that support us, man, you are part of the network. You are the reason we're building this. So, salute to you, brother.
All right, salute to y'all, man. Thank you.
All right,
See
man.
y'all later.
Peace. Iman Perry, man. Thank you, Iman, man, for tapping in today. Now another day one. Ghost dog, what it do, bro?
Yeah, was good,
Man,
family.
bro.
Was good.
You
Salute to the
on
senseis. Was good.
Maintaining, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, fam. I'm good. A little tired, a little cold, but you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But yeah, man, what
What's
you
good, though,
think, man, about the whole NFC East thing, man? What do you think about the Giants and what they need to do, man, to really get back in this division race, man? You know, I've told you, I showed people about the drafting. We talked about, you know,
Dope, by the way. I like how you broke that down. My bad to cut you off. How you broke it down between, you know, the division rivals, and it just shows that, you know, again, my bad to cut you off, but I just had to put this in there to add to the wisdom. It just shows you that, you know, I don't want to give too much credit to Joe Shane or Brian Daboll, but if you really, really look at it, man, we're kind of not that far away. It might feel that way, but who knows, man? Maybe if we could get Shador in here, have him sit behind Russ or Jameis for like, even if it's for like 8 to 10 games, you know, like who's to say that can't flip the script for us in our favor going into the 2027 year?
I'm gonna give you an unpopular opinion. I think if you get Shador Sanders, I think by the time he's ready to start, which will probably be, I guess, in 2026 or maybe later on in 2025,
something like that.
I think this team will be ready, because I just showed you the Commanders ain't been doing nothing special in the draft, bro. They've been missing just like the Giants. The difference is the quarterback. You get a quarterback in here that can run the scheme like Pat always talk about, run the philosophy, whatever the hell this dude is trying to do, whatever his philosophy is. If you get the quarterback, so we can stop hearing, oh, the quarterback just can't run the scheme. Get the damn quarterback in here that can run the damn scheme, and I think you can be on par with a Washington or a Dallas.
Absolutely.
Now,
at
Washington
the very least,
for
be competitive.
sure. You know, because Washington had that great year, but guess what, y'all? Those type of teams always come back down to earth, and they haven't they haven't been knocking their socks off in the draft. We just went through that. That's why I love doing this show. We see and see what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to add specificity to what I was saying, we're not that far away from the Cowboys and the Commanders. Obviously, the Eagles, you know, like I hate to say it, man, they might repeat. Real talk, because like the more I think about it, man, the more I'm like, who at least in the NFC can give them competition like that? Besides maybe the Lions, and then even then, you know, they fizzled out last year because of injury concerns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that, Pat?
They got took out by the Commanders, but they did have a lot of injuries. I will give
it was bad, you know. That Hutchinson injury, you know, it hurt them bad.
Yeah.
It was catastrophic loss. But outside the Lions, maybe Green Bay. I mean, if they haven't like that much of a good year, who besides those two teams can even go toe to toe with the Eagles right now?
In the trenches, nobody.
So,
San Francisco could have, but
they're done.
They're
done.
That was the only
team
team
blew it
that
up.
could compete with them in the trenches, bro.
They blew it up, so they're done.
Team I actually seen punk the Eagles when they were healthy.
That's a fact. And they were playing similar to how they were playing as well with the run game. So I don't know, man. You know, it's tough because I really wanted these dudes out the building, but we are stuck with them. I'm just hoping he hits, man. Just we had this conversation, and we're going to continue to have this conversation all the way leading up to the draft. The clear choice is, it's crystal to me. It's crystal clear. There's no other choice at 3. If Shador's there, you take him. That's it. Now, if he's not, we had this discussion a couple weeks back. At first I'll say Travis, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? If Shador or Cam are not there at 3, I think we should either go for Carter, or if not, trade back to get some more picks. And then just really try to make a shot for either Milroe or Dart. And I might be even like in the minority here, like even like a Dylan Gabriel, because the kid can ball. The only real thing against him is like his height. Outside of that, he has potential in my eyes. But yeah, man, the clear choice for me right now, and it should have been the goal all along, is Shador Sanders at 3. Or even if try to make the trade with the Browns, because there's even reporting coming out that the Browns might be even down because they're leaning towards Abdul Carter. You know what I'm saying? And there's still reports. Yeah, I feel that way too. But I just, for me, it's too much of a risk. But who knows? Maybe Joe Shane knows something that I don't. I'm not in the room. I'm not. I don't got my ear to the ground like how I would hope that he does at least. But man. I'm just waiting for the draft, man. Just counting down the days, and for me, it's simple mathematics.
Here's the thing about Carter: the Browns take Carter, Shador and Travis Hunter are on the board.
I already know where you're going with this.
I might lose it if they take Travis Hunter over Shador.
Yeah, I already know where you're going with this. There's this nonsense floating around the X spaces of them try to do some crazy ass Mission Impossible type of maneuver in the draft. No.
As soon as you pass on Shador, the Raiders are trading right up,
and they snatching him.
And they take Shador Sanders.
Facts. And if it's not the Raiders, it's going to be the Saints. All right? And don't be surprised if desperation sits in over in Pittsburgh and they be willing to sell the house to try to move into the top 10 to snag him. So this fallacy.
Pittsburgh's want him to slide.
They're hoping. Yeah, they're hoping.
Nonsense. It's probably one of the teams.
And we got to keep an eye out for the Jets too, because don't be surprised over there. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, the choice is clear. If they take Travis over Shador and they're both there, I'm tapping out. Like I'm officially, I have to. I got to bow out, man. Because at that point, like you're just kind of spitting out in our faces, then you're expecting it. You're expecting us to think it's rain. Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. I'll probably come back if they clean house.
On Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors, they had George Pickens in Pittsburgh, had a pretty good team in Pittsburgh. I'm not saying Russ can't win you a couple games, but what are you selling your franchise, your fans on for the future? Because you have to think about the after effect of when you do that. When you pass on this quarterback class, you're not setting yourself up very nicely for the next quarterback class, because you dumb sons of guns don't never make no smart trades and try to get extra first round picks. If you so warm on the quarterback class, why don't you make a trade and get extra picks? There's only a few things that make sense here. You don't like the quarterbacks, you trade down, you collect extra picks for next year. If that's what you want to do, I don't agree with that. Y'all know that. But I'm just telling you just what smart people do. What smart people do. You trade out if you can, get the extra picks for next year so that you can trade up in the draft next year. Or you take your quarterback now. Or if the quarterbacks are gone, scenario 3, you take Carter, because he's the only pick that makes sense at that spot. Like I said, the wide receiver DB, you can't sell me on that. And you can't sell me on a D tackle at 3 to put next to a beast D tackle that I already have.
I don't understand the Mason Graham pick. The kid is talented, but you're just doubling up on the same player type. You know what I mean?
For what?
So, yeah.
A big gap at what everybody says, the most important position in football.
Yo, let me ask you a question. Where's the Russell hate coming from? Like, do people truly believe that he's the answer and that's why they're upset? Is that what it is?
No, it's because he signed with the Giants. If you would have signed with Pittsburgh, it'd be a great signing.
Everybody wanted Russell last year, though. The Giants were stupid for not signing Russell.
Now all of a sudden they signed Russell. Now,
I'm just, like I understand that he might put us in a bad position for a high draft pick next year, but I think that was like part of the plan for the insurance. Because I don't think they wanted to start the year with a rookie and put it all on a rookie's shoulders like that because of the fact that their jobs are on the line. And that leads me to another question I have. And I don't want to get too crazy into this, but I just need people to think about this. Where did this idea of like playoffs or you're getting fired come from? Because did Mara say, yes, my patience is wearing thin? Absolutely. But did he say that they have to make the playoffs? I think that as long as like we're playing competitive, as long as we're not out of playoff contention around like Thanksgiving time, I think bearing circumstances, we've had somewhat of a successful season. Because I think as Giants fans, what we don't want and where we can connect with Mara to a degree is like we don't want to go through this process of like rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? So let's give these guys the opportunity to draft their QB. We know what the QB as far as fans, well, let me not say all fans, but there's a consensus of a certain amount of fans that believe Shedeur Sanders is the guy. Just let it go, man. Like let's get him. Let's have him sit behind Russ. Let's give Russ like 8 to 10 games. And if he's like 5-5 right around week 10, then we don't have to throw Shedeur in right away. We'll let him rock the last 2 games. We'll probably be out of playoff contention by then. But for me, I mean, maybe I'm in the minority in this, but that's a successful season because I wasn't expecting much anyways to begin with. You feel me?
I'm gonna be
honest. I don't know,
whatever. I'm way more annoyed with Brian Dable than Joe Shane.
Absolutely.
I'm annoyed with both of them, but if
I'm with you on that, NYG.
If you get me my franchise quarterback, I'm okay with Shane, returning in the next year, which would be 2026. The only thing that I want to see from Brian Dable is stability, first of all. Like this helter-skelter shit back and forth with your D coordinator, taking play call. Stop all that. Stability. Be mature about your job, Dable.
Ego. Control
it. What I'm saying? And then you got to score some fucking points. If you don't score no points next year, and I don't mean go from 15 to 18, you need 20. What's a good number? 23 points a game. You know what I'm saying?
I think if we score 23 points a game with that defense, we'll be all right.
Look, he can't. Look, he can't. He can't average what he's averaged his entire career as an offensive coordinator. We had this conversation. Yeah. What was it, like 15 points a game?
Yeah.
Bottom, ranked below, what, 25th to 32nd in the league offensive-wise for his entire career? Come on, man.
Like, we did a whole show on that, bro.
Like, yeah, right. And I remember the first time I came on here, pause, and I brought it up to y'all brothers, and and y'all didn't even know about it. I was like, yeah, like, check this out, man. Like, yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I hear you, NYG, and I don't understand where this, because I feel like a lot of these fans too, man, and not that they don't have validation in how they feel about Joe Shane, but I feel like they put the brunt of everything on him more so than they do on Dable.
They do.
Yeah.
And I feel like people need to put at all. And it's weird because it's like you have to put things in perspective. Joe Shane doesn't let Saquon walk if Dable tells him like, yo, like I need him for my offense.
That's a fact.
And then Joe Shane in the Hard Knocks even asked him like, yo, you think we could do it with Motor? Yeah, I think we're good with Motor. A couple games into the season, Motor blew his gasket, and then we had to rely on Chiron Tracy, a rookie, a very talented one, silver lining, mind you, in our running back fiasco. We had to rely on him. So my anger and my frustration goes to Dayball first. Well, in reality, goes to Mara. But right after Mara is Dable and then Joe Shane. Because at the very least, Joe Shane has been able to fix the books. And, that first draft is looking real suspect right now. But last year and the year before balances itself out a little bit. So I'm willing to, at the very least, cut him some slack. And I'm willing to put more of the brunt of my negativity for this team towards Brian Daboll, because in reality, it's all about development and the culture. And that starts at the head coach. I don't really care what anybody tells me, because the owner don't got nothing to do with nothing in the locker room. And 9 times out of 10, unless it's like a dope ass GM like a John Lynch, he's not involved like that as far as the culture is concerned. So it starts with Brian Daboll for me.
Absolutely, man. And one more thing goes, not just with the offense, but Merritt coming out and putting the defense, throwing the defense under the bus and throwing Shane
That was
Davis.
weird.
That was
Weird.
You
That
see
was
what
weird.
I'm saying? So it further makes people think that Brian Daboll's like this person that nobody's putting any blame on.
None.
And it's weird. It's weird. And then the whole thing I've been hearing is like, just let him get his quarterback. But you don't want to draft him.
And the same people who were saying, let him get his quarterback. Oh no. We can't draft those quarterbacks. We should just get Abdul Carter and then try to get like a second or third round. Yo, fam, I didn't even know who Shaw was until like a week ago. Who is that? What? And then his name is being thrown around?
Yeah, Tyler.
Man, stop it, bro.
And shout out to Tyler Shuck, man. We seen him at the Senior Bowl, but he ain't it, bro.
No disrespect to the young brother, man. Like, I wish him nothing but the best, but you know, we know who the top dudes are. It's Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel is involved for me. You know, Allard is somewhere around there. At that point, like, past Jalen Milroe, the drop off for the QBs is crazy. And then between Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders to Milroe is crazy for me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, one of the main reasons why I want Shadur here is because I can't trust Daboll. Does that make sense? Because I feel like Shadur Sanders, I mean, and he even said it himself, I'm your most guaranteed risk that you could take. You know, he's been through all the different offensive coordinators.
What makes Tyler Show so good, man? Because you keep coming here telling people.
Nah, let him call into the show. We got Ghost up here. If he want to talk, he could call in and talk. That's.
I mean, hey, look, man, people gonna have their opinions. I get it, but I'm just talking about me. I didn't know who the kid was until like a week ago.
Yeah, we didn't either. And one thing
for me, there's a lot of dancing around the bush, and it's like, nah, man, just really say how you feel. I'd have more respect for you.
One thing about Shuck though, is you gotta understand. From Louisville, you know, Louisville playing in the ACC, you know, ACC's been down lately, but you got to think, Shuck was a transfer from, I think, Syracuse.
Okay.
Shuck was a transfer from Texas Tech.
From Texas Tech.
Somewhere. He's gonna be like 26 years old.
Yeah, he
so he's like a journeyman.
And he's had two ACL tears and another knee.
Okay, so you telling me stuff that I didn't even know.
Yeah. But the comment was we need to do our homework, and I just told you we were at the Senior Bowl, and I'm giving you the homework that we done on this dude. He's not it. So
he does have
I haven't done my homework. I'm still doing my homework. I'm speaking for myself.
We feel me? We give us some homework stuff out there.
Thank you.
You know, guys, go do your homework on Tyler Shuck and come back and tell us.
I can tell you more about Tyler Shuck.
Oh, damn, where my notebook at? You see? I ain't even got it down here. I got to go get my notebook. I'm about to.
But
I can tell you more about
guys
Tyler
are welcome
Shuck
to call into the show and speak your piece. The lines are open if you may. But we're going to kick it with Ghost, man, for a little bit longer. Then we're going to wrap up the show here in a minute, man. But to be honest with you, Sador is the only move, in my opinion. If you want to take a developmental quarterback, I guess I'll be okay with Jalen Milroe. Because at least he has a super skill set that you could work with, which is his running ability.
Nah, for sure.
Ain't teach.
And he has a great deep arm pause. It's just he's inaccurate.
You could work with some of his
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah.
Just don't try to dink and duck offense down the field like y'all been doing, because he's going to get ate alive.
And my thing with him too is I don't want Dayball to like
offense,
throw him in the fire and run him into the ground, man. I don't want that for that young man, bro. I don't.
Oh, yeah. Dabo get a hold of him. He's gonna be ran.
You understand what I'm saying? And thank God we do have Russ. You know what I'm saying? For that reason. But you were saying, Pat, my bad.
I think he could sit behind Russ and Jameis and learn a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer for him.
He needs to get better with ball placement and accuracy for sure. His arm is strong. He has a strong arm. He has mobility. Obviously, he can run that system. I think I would use him like a like they do a little bit with Hurts in Philly.
Yeah, I will use him exactly like that.
All Hurts really does. You got to think, if you say they want to get Travis Hunter, which again I am totally against. But say if they get Travis Hunter and they want to just go offense heavy in the draft and they go get Jalen Milroe. All y'all got to do is run the ball and just let that defense start to bite up and then send them boys down the field. Him and Neighbors, and that's exactly what the fuck Philly does. And you try to press up and stop their running game, okay. Y'all know what to do. Jalen, throw it up.
AJ Brown or Devontae down there somewhere. Yeah, man. Yo, it's crazy how people putting that young. And I'm not hating Jalen Hurts. I think he has talent, but man, people putting him like in a top 3 conversation. No. They got to stop with the madness, man. People got to stop with the madness.
Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback because Jalen Hurts.
I put him top 10, maybe top 12.
What I give Jalen Hurts for is he's smart. He's not a dumb quarterback.
Yeah,
he don't make mistakes. His talent is nowhere near on par with the top quarterbacks. I promise you that. But he's a smart quarterback, and he know how to run what they doing over there in Philly. And he know
how to keep the turnovers down.
Do the tush push, which definitely helps them out. They get 99% of their touchdowns play.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just like how people try to tell me about these positions and the college players. Like, I don't do this. Like, that ain't my passion, bro. Like, I knew about Tyler Shuck, but way before other people knew about Tyler Shuck. I saw Tyler Shuck playing against Miami. I was like, well, he's decent. He got a lot to work on. But he's decent. I'm not gonna take anything from him. But we play in the NFC East, people. I know people don't want to. I don't know. I guess because it's coming from us. Because if it came from some other people, it'd be legit. But we play in the NFC East. It's different over here, bro. Tyler Shuck's not gonna make it over here, bro.
We need dogs, man. There's a dog, man.
Yeah.
It came out of Deion's mouth.
Oregon, then Texas Tech. I know he transferred 3 times because I did his I did his draft profile. But I mean, the quarterback is the obvious need. Diella, salute to you, man. Appreciate you tapping in.
Diella.
Salute, man. You could call into the show if you want to. We're gonna go in here about 10 more minutes. If any of y'all want to come on and call in and ask some questions or whatever. But I'll continue to read the chat until then. But this thing, I mean, like Diella says, it doesn't make sense to pass on Shedeur. He would cost us 1 pick this year. Russ puts us in that 10 to 15 range in next year's draft. The cost to get our quarterback will be so much more. Stupid way to do things.
Facts.
And that is what I've been trying to hammer home, Diella. You gotta think about your plan outside of this year. Fans think about the now and here. General managers and coaches should be thinking about that. And if your GM and coach is thinking about that, they should not be your GM and coach. So I don't know what the hell Mary's thinking, but if you get the idea that these guys are not trying to build for the future, you need to get them out of here, and you need to take because this team is not the Eagles. It's not like these guys can go in there and be comfortable just taking whatever. You got to have a plan to how you're going to build this team out. Not this year, but next year, the year after, year after, year after. You know what I'm saying? You plan your business, make plans 10 to 15 years out. Business plan, 10-year business plan, 15-year business plan. How you working on a 6-month business plan? Like, come on. You know what I mean? You got to plan that out. So I'm not with the Travis Hunters and taking Milrose and all this stuff. Go get the top guy. There's no denying that Shedeur Sanders was 1A, 1B with Cam Ward this year. Literally, their stats are damn near identical. So there's no reason to waffle on it. The only reason you would be waffling is because you don't like the way the guy looks, or you don't like the way he talks or acts or something about him, his personality. Because you can't deny what's on the field. I don't care what y'all say. You cannot deny what is on that field, the tape that you watch. That's why I spend hours with this brother up here watching tape. I don't talk like Pat talk. I leave that to Pat, the football aficionado. Don't disrespect the man. But don't disrespect me either. I know my shit. So that's why I told y'all we did our homework on Tyler Shuck. We done our homework on Jalen Milroe. We done our homework on Cam Ward. We done our homework on Taylor Eldermer. We done our homework on Will Howard.
Al McCoy.
We done our
Dylan
homework
Gabriel.
on Al McCoy, Dylan Gabriel.
Like,
Shedeur and
draft is
Cam
what
is
I
the
do.
two best quarterbacks in the draft.
and it's not close.
It's not close, bro.
Nope.
And if it was different, Pat would damn sure tell you.
That's a fact.
They don't sugarcoat shit.
I think Dart has talent. I just don't think he will make it over here in the NFC East, bro. I just don't.
Dart would be 3.
Yeah,
But I have to.
Put
I have
Dart
to
over
ask
there with the
myself,
Raiders or the Saints, and I think he'll do well.
And
You know what I'm
the
saying?
thing with Dart just has the makeup, the physical makeup of the quarterback you probably looking for.
No, he doesn't even have that. He's the same size as Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, 6'2", 215, 6'2", 220. So you can't even put the
He
6'5".
looks taller, I guess, because the hair. He
Yeah,
look like he about 6'4", but
no, he's 6'2", 220, 215, same size as Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward.
I gotta understand. We actually seen these dudes too. So
Yeah, up
me
close and
looking at the
personal.
dude, the motherfucker look tall as shit. So my fault for making that judgment. Thanks
You
for
know what
clearing
I'm
that up.
I mean, you can say that if you want to, but you're not even putting anything as far as to film work, paperwork, anything as far as analysis of why he's the same level as Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward.
Nah,
It's not close, bro. You saw him at the Senior Bowl. He was at the Senior Bowl for a
we seen
reason.
him.
He was
ain't look
at the
that-
Senior Bowl
he-
for a reason, participating.
He ain't look good either at the Senior Bowl during those practices that we was
Sure
watching.
didn't.
He
We
wasn't
got
looking
to
that good.
see the man play live, right in front of us. Something that you didn't do.
And
That's just
Jalen
a
Milroe, yeah,
Right in front of us.
and Tyler Shuck.
Right in
All
front
3 of them was there. All 3. So again,
Got to talk to Kafka, who talked about him right
Yeah.
in front of us. Like, I don't know how much more we got to do.
I saw that video.
You, I think it was Iman talked about Dylan Gabriel. He's not that bad, but this dude is little.
As
Short, bro.
He's short. Like,
What is he, like 5'8", something like that?
That's being nice.
that's being nice.
I look
He,
tall.
he look like a kid out there, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. He looks like
I'm
a
kind
kid
of tall
on the
compared to
field.
him.
Oh,
He
Mighty
looks
Mouse
like
for
a
real.
kid. Yes.
That's
He
crazy.
looks like a kid. It would be like Wandale Robinson back there playing quarterback, literally.
Nah, fam.
I think him and
Miles
Wandale
Dangerous and
Robinson.
East.
I think him and Wandale Robinson are the same size.
Probably the same size. Yep.
That's
Honestly.
crazy.
But
it was that bad.
kid,
I knew he was
he
short.
out of all the quarterbacks, he probably looked the best. throwing the ball.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But he got some challenges, bro. It can work. We seen quarterbacks do it, but yeesh.
Doug Flutie, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson.
He's shorter than Drew Brees and Russell
But he's
Wilson,
shorter
bro.
than all of them.
Yeah.
The only one he was close to was Doug Flutie. I think Doug Flutie was only 5'8", 5'7". That was the only quarterback I know that's that short that actually balled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I listen. I'm gonna just be humble. I'm not gonna say anything more about these athletes because obviously, me being right there, looking at the people, doing film studies, putting film studies out there, telling you their weaknesses and everything, telling you teams that they actually would be good being drafted to is not good enough. It's not going to be good enough until I get, I guess, to a higher level of your expectations of an ESPN or something like that, which is attainable if that was my goal. I'll tell you that now. It's very attainable. But I know what I do, and I know the work that I put in with this, and I know the athletes that I've talked to, the coaches that I've talked to, the GMs that I've talked to. Jackson Dart is a good player. You act like people are like you say that Jackson Dart is trash because you're saying that he's not in the same caliber as Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. That's ridiculous. Is Jokic at the same level as Wilt Chamberlain or somebody like that? No, but Jokic is still a doggone good player. And if you put him in certain systems, he can even be a better player. Put Jackson Dart over there with the Saints and see what happens. I think he would do good.
That's a
damn
fact.
good.
Yeah, that's a
I
fact.
think he would do good with the Raiders. He'll sit behind Geno Smith for a year or two and bring him in there. But this is the NFC East. Go ahead, MRG.
Nah, you're right. The NFC East. Think about the AFC North. That's a division like the NFC East as well, where you got a certain type of quarterback that Pittsburgh had Big Ben Roethlisberger for years. The reason he survived out there because he was Big Ben, and all those hits he was getting mollywopped by the Ravens and Browns and Bengals. He was able to get through that. They got Lamar Jackson over there with Baltimore. Lamar Jackson can run. He can run around those defenses. He can get around those defenses. You know, Cleveland's still struggling to find that guy. And Cincinnati got Joe Cool. We already know his vibe. And he got dogs on the outside at receiver. So they get by.
That's a fact.
You got to look at your division. I'm just making another analogy because we talked a lot about the NFC East. But we do this over here. Me and Pat do this. Like, we could go division by division and break all of them down and show you what the vibes is in that division.
That's a fact. We might need to do a show about that just to show you know what we
talking about. Because there's a different vibe in each division.
Each division got a different vibe.
That's a fact. Talking about divisions and talking about fits, like, you know, we remember Eli being, you know, the durability, availability. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was able to take those hits, still deliver the ball in the breadbasket, touchdown. This is why, man, bro, and I'm not saying Shedeur is Eli, but that kid, he's tough, man. He can take the hit and deliver the ball pinpoint with the defender in his face, and he makes it look effortlessly, man. Come on, man.
Cam Ward do the same thing.
Same thing, but I don't talk about Cam because he's out of reach. Like, that's why I'm not even talk about that young man, because I'm convinced that Tennessee's gonna take him. So nobody's saying Jackson does no bum.
Brown, they will get their asses bust because he's not the quarterback the Browns need. Look at their division. This is what we're talking about. And then if the Browns draft Cam Ward, they can keep up with their division, because they have the defense to do it. Now watch. What they need to do with the Browns is take Carter, because now you have Garrett and Carter, which is what we would be doing if we took Carter. We will have Burns and Carter. And you just be a quarterback hunter until you get one.
Yep, that's a fact. That's the only other plan. It's the only other plan that you got. When you ain't got a quarterback, you better kill
the other ones.
Get after the other quarterback.
Man, I don't think Brian Daboll and Joe Shane got time. They got 1 year tops, and even in this year, they can't. It can't be no 3-14. I think Marin will let them rock if it's like an 8 and like 9 kind of
You
season.
gotta win at least 7 games.
At least 7 games,
look
bro.
good doing
Word
it,
up.
bro. And look
Word
good
up.
doing
Yep.
it. That's
And those
exactly
games that we lose have to be nail biter, close games at that. You know what
It
I'm
just
saying?
gotta look good doing it. You know you're gonna get beat up by
Wow.
Philly and certain
That's a
teams, the
fact.
Chiefs and shit,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't be getting dog walked by the Cardinals.
Dallas. We should be getting
teams
dog
like
walked by the
that.
Commanders. Let's
Yeah,
keep it a
no.
band though, because our defense is good enough
Yeah.
to keep that offense in
Shouldn't be
check.
getting
So
dog
yeah,
walked by the
nah.
Commanders.
Nope.
Nobody in the NFC should dog walk you except maybe Philly, Detroit, and Minnesota. To be honest with you,
That's a fact.
If Kirk Cousins goes to the Browns, that would be the worst. His arm looked terrible in the dome in Atlanta. You think he gonna be able to throw out there in that wind and snow in Cleveland? Come on, bro.
He's gonna die out there.
And then you got another quarterback contract on your hands, man. That dude ain't going to no Cleveland. If Cleveland get him,
would they be able to absorb that contract?
Huh? Yeah.
Would they be able to absorb that Atlanta? Okay.
They want to trade for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't they have to absorb the one that Atlanta's paying him on top of the Deshaun Watson contract? Yes, you see, I don't know.
I think Cleveland's going to be that team to take a quarterback in the second round. It only makes sense for them. It don't make no sense with Deshaun Watson and that mess they dealing with for them to be taking a quarterback at number 2. You can take your quarterback in the second round. It's going to cost you less. You don't got to worry about the salary about it. Because remember, that number 2 quarterback, that motherfucker going to get paid. He's going to get paid. He ain't going to be free.
Can they go into the season with Kenny Pickett, though, is my question.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to. They're going to have to go in there with Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson.
I'm just scared, man, because they're the only speed bump for me, man. They're the only thing in the way, bro.
They not a speed bump. And if they do go in with Cleveland, if they do go in or they do think about taking a quarterback, I think it's going to be in the second round. They're picking the second pick in the second round, I think. So they could easily trade back up and get a Jackson Dart if they want to, or they can go Milroe, or they could. But their enticing scenario should be just what I'm preaching with the Giants. If you have Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter as your 2 edges, their defense is going to be a problem. Their defense is already good.
Yep.
They might have one of the better defenses in the league, and the only thing you could do to offset Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and we'll see if Pittsburgh end up with Aaron Rodgers. The only way to offset that is to go hunt quarterbacks, because no quarterback you draft is going to be better than those guys. Even Sador and Cam, not off the rip anyway. None of them dudes is going to be better than what the AFC North is dealing with over there from a quarterback standpoint. So you could try to keep up that way, or you could just hunt quarterbacks.
Yep.
Now, in the NFC East, our quarterbacks ain't that outstanding like those other quarterbacks, in my opinion. Jaden Daniels might be that dude, but nobody worried about Dak and Jalen Hurts. You just need to get a guy. So get your quarterback now. Get a guy to compete in your division. That's tough. Don't remember, like you said, toughness.
And to be honest with you, if we did have quarterbacks like Joe Burrow and stuff in our division, I would actually consider the Abdul Carter situation even more. Because the best way to beat teams if you don't have your guy is get after the other guy. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact, because if you could get after the other guy, you could stop that other guy from putting up points while you are getting yourself together on offense. That's an absolute fact. That's why I would not be mad with the Abdul Carter pick, but we play in a Basham division. It's not really the quarterback play. The only team you could really say that is the Commanders, and even they bash you with their running game. And Abdul Carter's going to have to learn to do that, like Thibodeau's going to have to learn to do that. Brian Burns still has to learn how to do that a little bit, just to be totally honest. That's why I'm glad we got Ghostin and Seals Anderson. And I want a big edge to put out there on rundowns. Brian Burns does not have to be out there all 3 downs all throughout the game. No, we're playing the Eagles. put that big monster in there for first down and make them change their game. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I believe Shedeur Sanders is the pick, because it allows you to match the energy in the division.
Mhm.
That's a fact. If you're gonna call him Miz, need to do it now.
Yeah, I'm about to
we
wrap
it
up.
up. You need to
Yeah,
do it
'cause
now before we wrap up.
We got class later on today, so
Yeah,
little breaky break before we get into it. You know how we do it.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
man,
I gotta go get
this
some water.
is
I'm thirsty.
this has been a dope show, man. Appreciate having you on, Ghost. Appreciate Iman Perry for stopping in, and I appreciate everybody in the chat for tapping into another edition of Giants Conversation, man, where we talk New York Giants, unfiltered, talk all things Giants, tying in the NFC East to this thing now, because we are believers that the best way to get to the playoffs is to win your division. And if you go 0-6 in your division, there is some things we need to talk about and we need to look at to why you're 0-6 in your division. So I think we kind of broke that down for everybody, just to make it clear. Quick recap. We know the Commanders can't draft, just like you can't, but they got a quarterback. So that's the difference there. The Eagles, they just draft way better than you and have way more better in the trenches than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas drafts are okay, but they do two things well. They're consistent and they have hits. And when their hits hit, they hit. They're like Pro Bowl players.
Yep.
So you get hits like Kayvon Thibodeau, who everybody's like, you get hits like Wan'Dale Robinson, who's like, see what I'm saying? Nowhere near Pro Bowl players. Okay, he could be there, but that's one out of 18 that we went through. 18. So, yeah. That was just in 2 years, y'all.
And I believe his philosophy. Ain't no way all them players like that. Ain't no way.
That's crazy.
Nah,
it's crazy
no
if they are, though. But any last words, fellas, man, before we tap out?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, man.
Giants fans, man, just be respectful with each other, man. If you're having differences, that's all. Ain't nothing wrong with having the differences, as long as we can do it in a respectful manner. Outside of that, man, just buckle up, because it's gonna be a long pause, couple weeks, man. Because this draft is dragging right now, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But we got you though. We got you right here
fact.
On New York Giants Conversation, man. It's been me, NYG Double Deuce, aka Unpopular Opinion Sports, with my road dog, Big Pat Sports Talk, and my bro Ghost Dog in the building, man. Appreciate all y'all for joining the show. Till next week, man. Next week we'll have another dope show. I wanted to do trivia today. Conversations ran a little long, I should say. But check it out. What I'm gonna do next week, when I open up the call line, we're gonna have a call. We're gonna have everybody on the line at once. Just for the trivia game. All right. So we'll do it like that. That way everybody can participate. I want to find a way to do it in the I want to find a way to do it where you guys don't have to you could just like do it from your phone. I'm gonna figure it out. Y'all just gotta be patient with me, man. But I gotta run. Stop by next time. You call us a little too late, man. A few minutes short, Brody, because right now, unless Pat, you want to take the call, I'll let you take the call if you want to take the call.
I'll give him a couple minutes, because shit, I got something to eat before we teach this class.
That's what I need to do too. But we're gonna let you on. Give you a few minutes here. Let me switch the layout. All right, there you go, man. You got it. What's going on?
Nothing. I just came on because we were having that discussion, so I came on.
Speak your piece.
What I want to say is, it's not really an argument. You got to pick Shedeur at 3. He's going to be there at 3. That's going to be the pick. I already know it. But I'm saying this to people. You're going to pass, and I understand we have to. but we're going to pass on Carter after we passed on Parsons 4 years ago. We're going to do the same dumb shit again.
You're not passing on Carter. You passing on Hunter. The Browns are taking Abdul Carter.
Right.
That's a fact.
I agree. I'm just playing the game.
You'll be passing on Travis Hunter, and I'm cool with that. I'm perfectly cool with that.
No,
Are you?
I'm with you. I'll pass with Hunter. I'm 100% with you. I'm passing on Hunter, and we're taking the quarterback, obviously. But if Carter, because a week ago it was different, but things I think are starting to pan out that way. You know, and I do believe, I believe the Browns are going to pick up Cousins. So we'll see. But and then they're going to
give us Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that, Pat. You get Shedeur Sanders. It's been linked for months. It makes sense. He wants to be here. The Giants have done so much on him. It don't make sense not to grab him. So, but I'm saying if it was a scenario, and it's probably not looking that way today, but if it was a scenario where Carter got to 3, like I wanted to ask, I know you guys are going to take Shedeur, but you think it's that simple? You don't think Carter's going to be a special damn defender? And we
let's just say this. Let's get this out there. What makes Abdul Carter so much more of a better pick than Shedeur Sanders? Give me your philosophy. I don't want to just hear Carter's a beast and all that. What's your philosophy? I got you. What's your philosophy?
My philosophy is with the defense we've built right now, and I'm pretty excited about it. Finally, and you add a Carter to this defense with that secondary. And you rotation with Burns and Kayvon and the guys in the middle, and we'll draft another young defensive tackle and somewhere in the mid rounds. The Giants you can actually argue the Giants might be one of the best, if not the best defense in the NFC. And how else more than to answer the Washington and the Eagles offense in our division?
What's your plan to use them?
I'm gonna rotate them 3 like we used to back in the days. We're gonna rotate them, and slowly he's probably gonna take over for Kayvon. I hope not, but slowly over time. But you rotate the 3 edges, get back to being the Giants defense like we always spoke about. And I understand it's not gonna happen. I know Shedeur's gonna be there 3, and I know the Giants draft them, but we're just playing the what if, like whatever, just for the fun of it.
I'm playing the what's your philosophy game. When you draft Abdul Carter, you already have Thibodeau, you have Brian Burns. What's your main way of how to get your 3 main edge rushers on the field at the same time? Because I have a plan to do it, but people call me out and everything about everything. So I want to hear about other people's philosophies. I've said what my philosophy would be with him, but do you really know what Carter is? What is he? What is Carter?
He's not
besides the highlights that you see, besides the things that you hear about him on ESPN. What is he?
He's an edge rusher. He's an all-around defender. He's got bending around the edge ability more than most guys. Like we don't have a guy like that, I feel, on the team, and I think pretty highly of Brian Burns. Also, he could back up and he could play the field. You don't have to rush him off the edge on every play. And I ain't worried about his foot injury. To me, that's all nonsense.
No, that's BS. His shoulder, his foot, all that's good. He's not going to be hurt for his whole career. That's BS. I don't listen. Like I said, I don't listen to media pundits. I am my own media because that's what I love to do. But the thing is,
but what do you think of him? What do you think of him?
I've continued to say I think he's a wonderful player. He's an edge rusher, but he can also play off-ball linebacker. Mm-hmm. You can use him just like how you use Michael Parsons. On those 3rd downs and longs, you can put him in the middle of the field and let him blitz up the middle of the field. Take 2 people with him and let both your edge rushers be one-on-one. And then if you add a Dexter Lawrence to that is a no-brainer. That is a fact. But the thing is, you have to weigh your options. What is your division? What is the energy in your division? About it, but it is the aboriginal quarterback in your division. That's where your division is going. That's where the energy is gone. This is a bully division now. This is not the same divisions that when Eli Manning was here in those divisions. We were the bullies at that time because we built our teams to run the ball and everything. Now
we've lost our way, and now we've become the kid that's getting bullied in the NFC East. But guess what? You bring that energy that Shedeur Sanders brings, whether you like it or not, whether you like the way he looks, the way he wears his hair, the way he wears a chain or a watch, or who his daddy is, whatever you don't like about him, he changes all of that immediately. People want to come here and play with Shedeur Sanders. You see what I'm saying? Now you go out there and get Abdul Carter. Hey, listen, I'm cool. I'll be a little bit pissed if you took him over Shedeur Sanders if they're both there, but I don't see a scenario where that happens. Either you're going to get him or Shedeur Sanders. That's the way I see it. Because the Browns are either taking him or they're taking Abdul Carter. Either way, one of those dudes are going to be there. I don't see no scenario, because what two players are going to go if it's not Abdul Carter or Shedeur Sanders are the top two? Cam Ward and Mason Graham? That makes no sense. Offensive tackle, no. So there's no scenario where you would have to take Abdul Carter over Shedeur Sanders.
They're not taking Travis Hunter. They're not taking Mason Graham. They're not taking Will Johnson, the tackle, whatever. They're going to go Shedeur. They're going to go Shedeur or Carter. I'm hearing it's Carter. That's what we've been hearing. That's what me and Pat been reporting, that it's going to go Cam Ward, Carter, Shedeur. That's what we've been saying all off season, and that's exactly what it's looking like. It's going to shape up.
I know you want to answer this question right here, because I don't know how many times you have to say it.
Yeah,
we don't do good with cornerbacks.
Yeah,
if
we just went through the whole list. Nah, we did. We went through the whole thing, Pat. You know, we went through the whole list of the past drafts where the Giants took corners, and they just haven't been good. The other thing about that is you just took Banks in the first round a year ago or 2 years ago.
And you took Neighbors the year before.
And you took Neighbors a year. So you went DB, wide receiver. Now you're going to take a DB / wide receiver? That doesn't make no sense. Like, let those two guys develop and then see what you got. And if they're not panning out, then we could talk DB maybe in a draft or two, man. But I'm not doing that in round 1 at pick 3.
And you just signed Paulson Adebo. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so the Hunter pick doesn't make sense to me unless you're trying to put him at receiver. And there it goes the flash thing again. Because now you got your two receivers, but who's the guy that's going to be throwing to him? Because Wilson's only here for a rental. Winston's only here for a rental.
But that's the problem. You got people thinking they're going to draft Hunter as a wide receiver, which is, crazy. I don't. And then you got these people who have this pipe dream that they're going to grab Hunter at 3 and then trade all the way back to 1 and also steal Sanders. Stop. This is not a cartoon. That's not going to happen. This type of stuff ain't happening. So, no, I'm with you guys. I don't want to. I think the secondary is pretty strong right now. I don't even think you need to go there.
Yeah, with Javon Holland now placed with Nubin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it'll be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see a scenario where you would have to pick Carter or Shedeur Sanders. I don't see it. I don't see the Browns taking Travis Hunter over Abdul Carter or Cam Ward. I just don't see it.
No. And the Giants are going to take Hunter either.
Go ahead.
They're not going to take the Giants aren't going to take Hunter. And the Browns aren't going to take Hunter, and the Titans are not going to take Hunter.
Rob, what's good, Rob?
What's good, Rob Z? And the reason is because of the position flexibility. Like, you got to understand, you're going to have to play this guy at one position or the other. You know what I mean? He's going to have a primary position, and you have to figure out what that is. The Giants, from everything I've been hearing, think that that's DB. And if that's DB, me, Pat, too, we think he's a better wide receiver. You're going to maximize his skill set better by putting him at wide receiver and then letting him play DB sparingly here and there. You're not going to maximize this guy's value by putting him at corner. Like Deala says, look, the kid is nice, not for the Giants, not in the position that we in right now.
That's a fact.
You can't tell me that this is a smart pick when you don't have a quarterback and you don't even really know what you're doing with Tibbs. You waffling on the 5th-year option with him. Banks you just took. You just drafted Banks and Malik Neighbors. They still need time to get their feet wet and develop. Kayvon Thibodeau, you'll know what he is at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 3 years. That's why I went back to the 2022 draft. 3 years. After 3 years, you should know what that draft looks like. I'll show it to you guys one more time before we get out of here. Because we're gonna make sure that you understand exactly what the hell we've been putting down today. I don't want no reason for confusion.
Do you trust him to go against an AJ Brown or a CD Lamb? I don't.
We're gonna go through it. Can you see the screen? We might have to change the layout. There it is. All right. So again, let's go back to the last time the Giants won a Super Bowl. I'm gonna make 2 points. Then we're gonna get out of here. I did this earlier. We're gonna go back to the cornerbacks that they selected since the last 2011 class, not counting Prince Amukamara. That was 2011. That's the last time they won a Super Bowl. What have they done since then? They took Jaron Hosley, ass. Cooper Taylor, cheeks. Nate Beret, cheeks.
Bennett Jackson.
You see what I'm saying? Didn't take one that year. Then we going up to Eli Apple.
Cheeks.
Come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Julian Love, got rid of him, but he was a 4th rounder. DeAndre Baker, the dudes you took in the 1st round, cheeks. Corey Ballantyne, still playing in the league. He got rid of him, though. He ain't do nothing for you. Okay. Again, Chris Williamson, Darnay Holmes. Do we need to continue? Okay, let's bring it home. Rodarius Williams, Aaron Robinson. Okay. Dane Belton, Cordell Flott. And then you got Deontay Banks
and Trey
Hawkins. And now Phillips, who everybody likes. Andrew Phillips. Drew Phillips is nice. Still 1 year in the league, though. Let's see what he do next year.
It's not comparing Hunter to those guys. It's comparing what we do here as a culture with the New York Giants. It's not comparing players. That's what people are not understanding. It's about the culture that you bring here. All of those players probably are not bad. It's just the culture here. What are we doing with them? Who? You know what?
That was
a whole nother conversation.
And you got to think about it too.
It's a whole nother.
How many? I went back to 2012. We done been through Coughlin. We done went through McAdoo. We done went through Pat Shermer. We done went through Joe Judge, and we done went through Brian Dable. 5 different coaches. They still can't draft DBs, bro. It's an organizational philosophy. Some teams are just better at other teams, better at things that other teams aren't better at. The Giants, they are solid when it comes to drafting defensive tackles. 100%. Damn near don't miss. But corners, they always miss. Always. I'm not taking 1 and 3.
You guys kill us. Rob wants to tap in real quick. God, dog, Rob.
That's a lack of development, guys, and that's been going on for over a decade. Man, that's a lack of
But we've been saying this for damn near half a decade. We've been saying it.
So why would you draft? Why do you want to draft a corner when you can't develop them? You see what I'm saying? When you can't develop, you proven you can't develop. You know why the Giants get by with their corners? Because their D-line is so freaking dominant. When they've been winning, their D-line has been so good and so dominant. It didn't matter if Corey Webster or Aaron Ross was back there. It didn't make a difference. The damn quarterback was on his ass in 1.7 seconers.
He doesn't have to be the primary run stopper in the defense. You could use Abdul Carter everywhere. They said the same thing about Micah Parsons. Ain't he getting ready to get a $200 million contract?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing is how you use them.
I'm going to give y'all 10 minutes to chop it up, and then I'm shutting this thing down at 3:15. All right, Rob, what's good?
What's up, homies?
Listen, man.
I need to get this off my fucking chest. Okay. This is probably something for Talk Your Talk, but fuck it. I'm going a cappella, okay? I don't understand why people are so inept when it comes to this organization. So inept when it comes to this organization. How much more do we need to see, endure, or be a part of for people to get the fucking picture? And I'm going to take off my glasses to look at you motherfuckers. And you know who you are.
Uh-oh.
Okay? So for the people that are sitting here saying, give me Travis over Shador, or give me Abdul Carter, because you saw Jalen Milroe run a 4.35 and got a fucking boner when you saw it on live television. That is the fucking problem here. Now people last year, this was, oh, go get me Neighbors. Go get me Roma Dunze. Go get me Michael Penix at 2 in the second round. Go get me J.J. McCarthy. Maybe we could trade back up and get one of them at the back of the first round. Does this fucking sound familiar to you motherfucking people? You're doing it again. Get me Travis. You guys think Shador's going to fall? What's going to stop Shador, another team from moving up and grabbing him? And then you're fucked. And I gotta settle for some wannabe Orid motherfucker in Jackson Dart. Okay, you guys ever seen Brown Sugar? You guys remember the Dalmatian people? That's Jackson Dart. Okay, that's Jackson Dart. All right. Then you want to take a shot. I heard today. What if Jalen Milroe can be 75% of Lamar Jackson? What? What?
75%.
What?
That's a good round number.
What? No. Okay? Absolutely fucking not. Then you people don't want to trade up to number 1. Oh, I can't give up next year's first. Can't do it. It might be the number 1 pick overall. Who are you taking that's going to give you a championship? The safety from Alabama, Downs? What is he going to do? The Vikings had Randy fucking Moss. How many Super Bowls did they win? 0. The Browns have Myles Garrett. How many playoff appearances did Myles Garrett have?
1.
2?
Well, I think no.
2? 1 with Baker, 1 with Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
did he
that's
ever
true,
make a
too.
conference championship game? Nope.
They
Sure
didn't
as
win
hell
a
fucking
playoff
not.
game.
Sure as hell fucking not. Right? Before he got to the Eagles, what did A.J. Brown accomplish? As far as how much winning did he do? He made the playoffs once, maybe twice. Did he make a Super Bowl? Did he make a conference championship game? He's made it to 2, and he won 1 already. And he's made it to 2 conference championship games. The Houston Texans had Mario Williams, Jadeveon Clowney, and J.J. Watt.
On the same thing.
How many conference championship games did they make? How many Super Bowls did they appear in? 0. Do you want to know what the difference is between all of that? Is the teams that those people played on didn't have a fucking quarterback. A quarterback. So I don't give a fuck about Downs or Ryan Williams or whoever else you want to concoct in your fucking brains that's going to come out next year that is so, oh my God, I can't give it up because I want Cam or I want Shador. I can either move up and grab Cam. I could stay patiently and take Shador. Fuck it. Move up to 1 and take Shador for all you care. I don't fucking give a shit. Because you know what? You have the people today, still to today. I want to punt. And I want to grab Arch next year. He ain't coming out.
Nope.
And just like Giants fans think that you have a staple on Arch Manning, what's stopping the Broncos for him wanting to go for the Broncos and do what his uncle did? Or what his grandfather did in playing for the Saints? Everybody, or maybe again going to the Colts, right? That's where his uncle started his career. You guys automatically think he wants to go to the Giants. And then everybody automatically thinks the Giants are going to be in position. You guys said this last year. Take Neighbors. We'll get the quarterback next year. And what happened? Look at where we're at. Look at where we're at. You have a team in the Titans that are probably going to take a quarterback. And you have a team that's making your fucking balls sweat in the Cleveland Browns that might take a fucking quarterback. And then what are you? The third fucking wheel. The third wheel. What? And then all this whole season, the Raiders have more ammunition. They can move up. The Jets can move up. The this and the that. So sure, let's just say the Giants finish with the 3rd overall pick again next year. What happens when the Saints have the number 1 overall pick?
They're Arch Manning comes out then.
They're going to take a quarterback. And then what happens if, I don't know, say a team like the Raiders have the number 2 overall pick? Maybe, potentially. They're going to take a quarterback. And the Giants are sitting at 3. And then the teams behind them are the Colts and are, I don't know, give another team that might potentially not need a quarterback, but is a 50-50. What's stopping the Colts from jumping us? What's stopping any team from jumping us that's in the top 6 or 7? I'm sure the stories will come about just like they did last year and just like they did here this year. Oh, the Vikings, they're going to move up. They have more ammunition. They have 2 first-round picks. They're going to trade Justin Jefferson. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. The Raiders, they're going to trade Max Crosby. They're going to trade 2 first-round picks. Blah, 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 blah. What's going to stop the stories next year? Are you going to say next year, let's take Downs and get the quarterback next year? Is that what you're going to say? Is that what we're going to do? We're just going to punt every fucking year. We're gonna punt.
Yeah, we're gonna punt in the regular season too.
Some of you people were ready to give up on Evan Neal after a season and a half and say, go get Joe Alt. But you don't want to draft a quarterback? But you don't want to. What is it? What is it about the quarterback position that scare us? Do you only want quarterbacks with the same last name of a quarterback that brought you wins before? Or what is it with these quarterbacks that you don't see? Do you want them to be Patrick Mahomes now or Josh Allen now coming out of college? Newsflash. That doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. They have to develop once they get here. If that was the case, do you think all of those teams would have passed on Mahomes? If all of those teams had a fucking blueprint, if they all took the fucking DeLorean and went back in fucking time and got the sports almanac and saw the Chiefs, I don't think Mahomes would have went 10. I don't think that would have happened. Okay? I don't get it. So in closing, if you are somebody that wants Travis over Shador Sanders or Abdul Carter over Shador Sanders, you need to have your fucking head examined. I strongly suggest you call your health provider and see if a CAT scan, an MRI is covered under your insurance. And I'm going to do so too, because you guys give me fucking brain worms. Each and every year, you give me fucking brain worms. Milrow? Are you serious? Fuck Jalen Milrow. Fuck Jackson Dart. Fuck them. Fuck them both. Okay? Fuck Will the Thrill. Fuck McCord. Fuck them all, dude.
Facts.
If you don't draft Shador at 3 and you pass Joe Shane and you fucking cockamamie blood-sucking pieces of shit in this fan base get what you want, I want you all to fucking burn. To burn. I hope Travis pulls a fucking hamstring week 1. He's out for 8 fucking weeks. I hope that Abdul Carter breaks his I hope he gets a Lins Frank injury and has to go out for the season. I want you to endure absolute destruction. I want it to be awful. I'm telling you this right now. If you guys hate me on fucking Twitter now, you better delete the fucking app, because I'm gonna
Fire
be
and brimstone.
I'm gonna be the most toxic son of a bitch you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't wish injury on fucking players. I don't wish for anybody to get fired. But for you guys, I will make the fucking exception. If I don't get to win, you don't get to win either, motherfuckers. If I don't get to win, you get to lose too. I'm taking you with me.
Oh man.
Oh
Man,
man, hey,
one
listen.
and only Rob Zero.
I gotta give that man an applause right now.
Yeah.
For real.
You know, it's just the frustration with this fan base. I
Word.
have a lot of frustrations as well. Not as great as elaborating as the man Rob just did right there. That was freaking brilliant. Definitely gonna clip that. Its fan base is just really hard to, pinpoint what they really want. And like me and NYG said in a stream the other day, I think this fan base is scared of Shador Sanders. I think this fan base is scared of what he would bring to this team and what he would change this team to. I think he would change this team to a team they've never seen before. There's a lot of, energy, a lot of bravado with this team, and they've never seen a team like how the Eagles have been throughout. You've seen how the Eagles have been throughout history. Mm-hmm. And we are in a position where we have to match that energy, because now the Eagles finally got it. It's finally clicked, and they got what they wanted. You got to think the Eagles, Randall Cunningham, Vince Young, Michael Vick, Jalen Hurts. They've been doing it for a long time, and they finally got it. Yeah, Donovan McNabb. Sorry, how can I forget Donovan McNabb? They finally got it, and it's finally worked in their favor. And they've been to 3 Super Bowls in the past, 8 years? It's working, folks. Yeah. And then you got the Commanders that finally got back to what they usually do. Doug Williams, RG3. They had, I think, Andre Ware at one point. Then they brought in Jaden Daniels after Sam Bow, the Kirk Cousins, and all those guys, the Carson Wentz and the Heath Hewlers and all those guys, where they kept going with the prototypical type guys. They say, you know what? Magic Johnson, come in here, smile, kiss some babies, get this fan base riled up. We're going to bring some more chocolate back to Chocolate City. And I don't care if you don't like that analogy or not. They brought the chocolate back in at the top position, and guess what? They were a couple of, half away from getting to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. It almost happened. Mm-hmm. Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott takes over. They're in the playoffs consistently every year. Last year was the first year that they looked pretty bad. So if you're scared of the movement that Shedeur Sanders would bring here, that's on you, man. We're in a division that is changed, man. The guard has changed right underneath our noses. It's changed.
That's a fact.
There's no more blue collar, white collar quarterback energy over here in the NFC East. That's gone. Eli Manning couldn't survive during those times at the end of his career. You went with Daniel Jones, couldn't survive. How many times you got to bump your head until you get it? You bring Arch Manning over here, you put him in this situation over here. I guarantee you Arch won't do what you think that he's going to do. They're not built for the NFC East. It's just different over here. They're bullies. We on the block over here in the NFC East. It ain't nothing corporate over here.
Corner to corner block.
Strap up, bro.
Word up.
It ain't even just about that. And so a couple things more. I'm sorry. So one, I'm going to come back to what you were just saying, Pat. I've heard this is how fucking sort of fuck this fucking organization.
Breathe, Rob. I feel you. Breathe.
I saw a report that the Giants felt that there was a quarterback last year that wasn't fit to be in New York.
Hmm.
And they said J.J. McCarthy is what people think that it is. Now, New York is just so tough with our media. Let me show you guys and explain to you how tough our media is. Let's go to the one of the toughest reporters out there, Patricia Traina. Has the audacity to tweet this 45 minutes ago. So I have to ask, if the Falcons release Kirk Cousins, should the Giants kick the fucking tires?
Oh my God.
No, but they should kick the shit out of you, you stupid bitch.
We do
You
not
fucking
share
four-eyed piece of shit. Shut up.
the
Shut up.
sentiments of Rob Zero.
Okay? That's the first thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's from Jordan Schultz. This is actually good. The Titans have not had trade talks with anyone about Will Levis. President of Football Operations Chad Brinkers said, that's a false report. We have not contacted anybody, and nobody has contacted us about Will Levis. No fucking shit, Chad. He sucks. The plan with Will Levis is that he has a chance to compete for a starting job next year, just like every player on our roster. Maybe you should fucking try that, Joseph or Brian. It's no different for Will. You don't fucking say, Jordan Schultz. I see him in our facility. He's working hard. Must have spoke with Daniel Jones on the fucking phone. Everybody knows he's a great kid. Oh, golly bee. He's a hard worker, and he's going to give it everything he has. I'm sure he has. That and Hellman's mayonnaise. We're going to continue to work with Will Levis. I was told that there were no other dumbass motherfucking fan bases or organizations in the National Football League. This sound, and the guy wears number 8. Will Levis wears 8. Okay? I'll say that, and I'll say this, Pat, to what you were saying. And I'm only saying this because, not that it's somewhat relevant, but I heard it on a YouTube video, and listen, I grew up, I'm Italian. I grew up in New York, Queens. Now, granted, the Italians don't necessarily, back in the day, have a very good history with a certain ethnicity of human beings. That's well documented. It's well reported. Okay. But today in this world, people need to get out of their head. People need to get out of their feelings. And people need to open their eyes to the change of the world. And I'm mainly just talking about at this moment sports. Okay. I think people are okay with certain things in certain situations. You have the NBA that is a very high percentage, well over 70% of the NBA are black athletes. I don't know what the percentage is with baseball, but with baseball, it's more overseas, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, those types of players. And in football, it's pretty well diverse amongst a lot. You have Samoans, you have black, you have white, you have Hispanic. It's well versed. And this in this day and age, you need to be okay with allowing a person of color, whether that's black or brown or whatever, to be the face of your organization. And you need to be we as fans need to be welcoming of that type, no matter what it is. And you can't be specific. You can have a preference on a type, but not preference on a color. You can't. You absolutely cannot. And if your judgments, if you can bring to me a reason on why you think that Jackson Dart, for example, is a better fit for the New York Giants than Shedeur Sanders, and bring me tape evidence on why that is, and not just the color of the skin of those two players, I'm willing to listen. But in this day and age, when you guys were talking about the NFC East right now, as it stands today, before the draft, we are the first division to have 4 African-American quarterbacks as starting quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah.
The first division. Look around the league and you look at the impact of players. The black athlete is rising. I think it's time as people that we rise and adapt, just like you expect coaches and the league to adapt to certain things. It's time that we adapt as people and stop labeling or having an idea or having a specific want for your team. Oh, that's cool. Like, it's not okay for you to be a fan of Lamar Jackson, but not want a Lamar Jackson on your team, because you don't want that to represent your team. If you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I want to be successful. And if that means that success comes at the end of a football season with an African-American quarterback holding up my team's Lombardi trophy, I am all fucking for it. All for it. All for it. I don't care. But there are some of you that do. And I think you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I think you need to look at yourself as being part of the problem and part of the reasoning why in this world that the society is what it is. And that's all I'm going to say. And that's all I'm going to say.
And,
okay.
And you know what, man? Before we wrap this conversation up, this has been dope too, man. Shout out to Rob, man, for coming in with the heat. You know what I'm saying? Coming in with the flamethrower. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ghost, man. Shout out to you, Miz. And of course, man, you too, Pat. You already know what it is, man. But I like hearing that perspective from another person of another race, because again, we both from NY, Rob. You already know what it is.
Mhm.
You know, we know the dynamics up there. But one thing New York has taught me was to accept people from different cultures, because y'all literally neck to neck on a daily basis. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
ass cheeks. Pause. Word up.
So again, bro, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for bringing that up, man. And look, it's not about race or culture and all this. It's about doing the right thing and not being heinous or trying to have some type of agenda with it. You know good and well you need a quarterback of the future. You know good and well that Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are the two best quarterbacks in the draft. You know good and well 9 times out of 10 you're not going to be picking third overall next year to get a quarterback. It's just about doing the right thing. But if you go out your way not to do the right thing, then yeah, you should get lambasted. You should get called racist. You should get called all the names Rob was calling y'all. Y'all deserve it. All of it. Because guess what? You're going out of your way not to do the right thing. You're going out of your way not to do the right thing. And we all know drafting this quarterback at number 3 is the right thing to do. It absolutely is. In so many ways. And we pointed all those out here on this show. But I'm NYG22, Unpopular Opinion Sports, man. Here with the Aboriginal Sports Network. Pat, I'm going to let you close it out, bro. Any last words you got?
Yeah, appreciate you, Rob. Appreciate you, Miz, Ghost Dog. Iman Perry showed up today.
Yeah, shout out to Iman.
Shout out to my brother Rob for bringing out a subject that many people are not willing to touch, especially of his ethnicity. I think that was dope. I think that's what grown men do. And, it's conversations that a lot of people don't want to have. I will say this. Just because they brought in Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson doesn't mean that they're out of the water with it, because that doesn't mean anything if you're not picking that type of player to lead your franchise in the future. Those are rentals. You can do that all day.
The Giants have drafted one quarterback in their history. Can y'all name that quarterback?
I can.
I know you can. Can y'all name it, panel?
Is it
One black quarterback they've drafted in their entire history.
I know you posted it the other day, but I already forgot the name.
Exactly.
Andre Woodson
from
in 2000.
6th round, right?
Yep.
And before we get out of here, I'm gonna take one shot at Rob. Didn't I tell you that Will Levis was Daniel Jones reincarnated? I told you that, dude. What's Daniel Jones reincarnated? I told you. Everybody trying to tell me I know what I'm talking about with these quarterbacks. I literally told everybody, I said, you go get Will Levis and you'll be rooting for Daniel Jones right over again. He does the same shit, the exact same shit to a T, the same number.
We could have kept that. We could have kept it private.
Ain't nobody talk about that, right, Rob?
But hey,
I don't recall this conversation.
Right. This is what the Aboriginal Sports Network is about. We're gonna take on the conversations that people are willing to run and hide from and throw rocks. We don't throw rocks and hide. We right here talking straight to you. Even Mr. Fluffers is right there talking to you.
Corn? Yeah, say what up, Cor.
That cat, we're gonna talk, man. We're gonna talk.
Yo, he always want attention, man. It's annoying, bro.
That's gonna be useful.
But appreciate all the callers that came in here on Giants Conversations. We will get you some trivia next week. This went way longer than we thought. Everybody
I still got it up, so we'll play it next week. I still got
just blame me. It's my fault.
That's cool, man. Hey, listen, we're the Aboriginal crew, man, and we doing big things around here. Appreciate everybody that's watched. And yes, we do have a new outro. So we'll hit that new outro for you guys, and thank you guys so much for participating. And Rob, you are the fucking man.
Mic drop moment for real.
CM Punk was in the building today.
Yeah.
Peace, man.
Let's get it. Holla.
Peace.